Hello again, this is an all-singing, all-dancing, all-celebrity Saturday night on your television. We've never known so many semi-finals in one evening. But if you would like to watch a semi-final that does not involve you having to actually vote, then BBC Two is the place to be. Because here in York's Barbican Centre, we've got one more place to be filled in tomorrow's final of this Coral United Kingdom Championship. And it's going to be filled by a man who's already laid hands on this trophy. Two former champions involved, England's Judd Trump and Scotland's Stephen Maguire.
As the tournament progresses, you do need to up your level, and it all starts now. I've stayed patient all week against all my opponents and just tried to play as well as possible.
If you're struggling with your game, you're not going to get to the later stages, so it's hard to build up a momentum if you're not winning, a lot of consecutive matches. This one I've had a little run, and if I play well in the semis, then I can make the final, and then I'll take it from there.
Stephen's a real tough player. He's won this tournament before. He knows what it's all about, and if he does go in front, then for me it would be real hard to get back into it. But I'll have to get off to a great start again, because otherwise he can just walk all over you.
Who gets a good start, I think, will probably run away with it. First to six, you've got a little bit of time, but not much. And Judd, he's amazing at these shots. I hope his tip comes off when he does it. If his tip comes off, then, I'll win the match.
It's obviously nice playing in front of the crowd, but when it gets down to one table, it's sort of extra special. And for a snooker player, it's probably the best feeling.
Well, Stephen Hendry's a five-time winner of this event. Stephen, we watched an absolutely thrilling first semi-final. Ronnie taking it in a final frame decider against Stuart Bingham. What might we be in for this evening, do you think?
Well, we've got two of the top players in the world, so we'd be expecting another high-quality match tonight.
We sure are. Judd Trump has been the more fluent of the players to get here. He's already made 6 centuries so far here in York. Is he getting back to the kind of form, that sort of naughty snooker that he played en route to winning this title 3 years ago?
He looks very confident, but he's had quite a favourable draw so far. He's not played anyone in Stephen's class, so this is going to be a big test for him tonight. Stephen
Maguire lost to Judd Trump last month, and afterwards was talking, and even in disillusioned terms, about perhaps even quitting the game. Since then, 2 semi-finals. I wonder what this run represents for him at the moment.
Maybe he needed to give himself a kick up the backside to get himself going, because he's wasted his talent a bit, to be fair, the last 2 or 3 years. He should be winning or being semi-finals and finals more often. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he plays tonight.
Well, Stephen's trying to get to his first major final for 21 months. And in fact, when you look at the head-to-heads between these two fellas, it's Maguire who has the better record. 5 wins to 3 he leads, although Trump has the fresher memories of success with that Champion of Champions win, as I said, last month. Well, Dennis Taylor has already commentated on one nail-biter this afternoon. John Parrott, have you applied the smelling salts for another edition tonight?
Yeah, they're all ready to go, these two boys. They've seen a lot. They've seen a few campaigns, these two. I'm mentioning campaigns, John. I always think this is a great special occasion on our circuit, the semi-final of the UK.
Absolutely, and we've got real 2 powerhouses of players here today. Big break builders, great potters, and... should be a great match, and it'll be very keenly fought.
Now, I always think Maguire is probably, it's a backhanded compliment really, he's probably a serial underachiever on the circuit. I think he's better than the amount of tournaments he's won. What do you think, Dennis?
Absolutely. I mean, on fire Stephen Maguire, we used to call him, but he's had a couple of seasons where he struggled a little bit, but he's beaten Judd this season. The both, I think it was 5-0 or 6-0, and then Judd beat him 4-1. So they're very evenly matched, these two, and if anything, Stephen's head-to-head is just ahead of him. So it's very difficult to pick a winner, but it's great to see Stephen Maguire back playing well. But Judd Trump, he's getting stronger with every match.
Do you think he's maturing now, John? I mean, snooker players sort of should be getting better now. He's had enough campaigns, shouldn't he?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've been hearing about Judd since he was 12, you know, saying how good he was going to be, and he has just arrived at that point. The only thing I would say against Mark Davies, he left him a few chances by playing unforced errors. He's got to cut them out tonight, otherwise Stephen Maguire will jump all over him.
And as for Stephen Maguire, everyone's talking about we'd like to see an O'Sullivan-Trump final. I mean, he'll have that in the back of his mind, Dennis.
He'll know that, Stephen Maguire, and that'll give him a little boost, so he'll have a lot to say in this semi-final.
OK, gents, thanks very much. Look forward to listening to your words this evening. Players are ready. Rob Walker, it's all yours.
Thanks, John. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. After 12 non-stop days of action, this is the last session of snooker before tomorrow's big final, the Coral United Kingdom Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, the players are ready, the crowd are ready. Let's find out who's going to join Ronnie O'Sullivan in one of the season's biggest showdowns. Please welcome a player making his first appearance in a UK semi-final for 5 years. A decade after taking the title in York, he has rediscovered his touch here at the Barbican. Winner of 5 ranking event titles in all, he's back in the big time. He's the pride of Glasgow. When he's good, he's on fire. Here's Stephen Maguire.
All the best.
And his opponent, arguably the most exciting player of his generation. He burst onto the global stage with a brilliant year in 2011, winning the China Open and the UK crown here in an absolute classic against Mark Allen. Winner of 4 ranking event titles in all, he's the reigning Aussie Open champion. Here it comes, with his own brand of naughty snooker. He's the pride of Bristol, he's the ace in the pack, he's Judd Trump.
So anyone in the mood for naughty snooker tonight? Judd Trump may be in the mood to supply, but then again, so might Stephen. Let's enjoy whatever we get from both players. With Dennis and John, back to you.
Yes, thank you, Hazel, and what a reception Judd Trump has got. Both players, in fact, but we've got a semi-final on here tonight.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
And let's hope
the first frame
delivers what it promises. The world number 11, Judd Trump, breaks off. And he's playing the world number 13, Stephen Maguire. Well, it's a type of red you'd normally see Stephen having a go at. Maybe he just feels it's the first shot and he doesn't want to offer any easy chance. Or maybe that's part of the game plan. Just keep it tight early on. Don't let Judd get on a roll. Well, he went for that red in the middle, and it's not safe. He's left an easy starter for Stephen.
Yeah, I think he played the screw back a little bit further, and then this pot wouldn't have been available. He tried that as a shot to nothing, but the blue goes past the red there into the middle, and he can get on that. The pink's in the open, as you can see. And with the red up the other end of the table, it didn't matter what angle he got on the blue. He was going to be in pretty good shape. I like watching Stephen Maguire. He's so intense. He looks at the balls as if he's trying to scare them.
6.
Yeah, and off the table, he's one of the nicest lads you could ever meet.
Oh, what's he done here? What has he done here? That is very careless from Stephen.
7.
He's covered the yellow. He's not on the brown. That's a shocker. He hasn't got a pot on.
Yeah, and looking again, Dennis, it didn't look like a bounce. He just had to drop that red in, didn't he, to finish on the yellow. He was probably thinking, well, I need to just bounce off a foot, but over-adjusted by a long way. It just shows you. First frame nerves. That's all it could be.
Bramble.
And he underhit that one. He was hoping to be in behind the yellow. Might see this first frame. Maybe go a little bit scrappy the way, well, there's a few colours off their spots already. This might knock the blue off its spot also. Well, does this red? Well, that's very tight. Can't really take that on. He's quite an aggressive player, Stephen Maguire. If he gets half a chance, make no mistake, he'll go for it. It's hard to believe, John, it's 10 years since he won the UK Championship. Unbelievable. Where does the time go? Well, he feels as if he can pot it comfortably. We'll find out shortly. Now, where's the red going that is coming across the table? Over the middle pocket.
Yes, you were right, Dennis. It was tight. As we always say, it's one of those. If you were straight behind it and you've got the cue ball, object ball, and the pocket all in your one eye line, they're a lot easier. So a chance for Judd here. There was nothing wrong the other night when he played Mark Davis, when he got in amongst the balls. It was just one or two careless safety shots he played that gave Mark chances. And as I say, I don't think you can afford to do that tonight. Don't miss any easy balls. And we'll have a very, very close contest on our hands.
3. Four.
Has he left a good enough angle to go into the pink and reds from the green? Maybe not, because he's wandering around the table to look at the yellow, so he could have played that better. That was his intention. There's only one loose red, and he may have to play for that now, but a better angle on the green, he would have potted that and straight into that bunch.
Yeah, he's just had a look there at leaving this angle to stun into the reds as he pots this and bringing reds into play.
6.
Now, he's not come exactly where he wanted to be. He didn't want to be using the reds. This is like a pool shot, really. Something you'd see in the Hustler. But as I say, he didn't have the angle, and using the rest, he's played
7.
for the pink to try and nudge you for a few reds out.
The Hustler, one of my favourite films of all time with Paul Newman. Black and white it was. Well, that's
Shot ramp 7.
not the best in the world. So they both look a little bit edgy. I don't think he's left anything into this right corner. I think the red's blocking the path, but both of them just settling down here in this opening frame. You can see Mate try to move that possibility of a plant, but he's playing the safety shot. If he gets the plant, that's a bonus. He's just moving the red away from the pocket here. We'll see where he puts the cue ball as to whether he's playing the plant or not. Just keep your eye on the white. That tells you he wasn't really going for the plant.
Well, it wasn't going to be too bad, but once it kissed the green, cue ball stays on the baulk line. Chance for Stephen here. Doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball. Just a good long pot required.
Well, that's the last thing that Stephen was expecting. He thought, well, if I miss this, I won't leave a great tee. He was going to try and block the one that's near the middle pocket. He hasn't done that, but he's opened the bunch up as well. Well, Judd, you won't get a better chance than this. Okay, the colours are a little awkward, but he can get the blue back on the spot in 2 or 3 shots' time.
Yeah, he doesn't have to open any reds here. And Stephen will be very disappointed. That's a trademark long red that he normally pots. As I say, Judd doesn't have to open any of the reds. They're mainly available. It's all about having good control of the cue ball. And it didn't take long to go wrong. He's underhit that.
Might just be able to get on the blue off this. Yeah, nicely played.
6.
Yeah, he did play it well. And as it happened, just being short of pace worked out in his favour, because there's not a safe ball on the table now.
11. 12.
I just overran that a little bit.
19.
Play for the red that's above and just to the left of the black. He's still going to play this red. He wanted to be on it straighter. Shouldn't cause a problem.
20.
That's a shot Dennis he's very good at. You know, that was just off straight and he forced the angle.
27.
Yeah, with these light cloths and slightly lighter balls, it's amazing the angle you can force, as you say, when you're
28.
almost straight, and especially when you've got the cue power that he has. So this is looking good. There's no reason why he shouldn't go on and take this opening frame. As I mentioned at the top of the programme, Steve Maguire leads 5-3 in the head-to-head. They played three
35.
times this season, and Stephen won 5-0 in the Wuxi Classic in China. But in the Champion of Champions,
36.
Judd won 4-1. So there's not a lot to pick between these two.
Just stopped short from being hampered. He won't mind if he has to go up for the blue here. He's getting very close to the winning line.
44.
In fact, just this blue and one more red required.
I don't think there'll be a lot of tactical play because they're both very aggressive when they get
49.
a chance. So we'll see the frames disappear quite rapidly. This one just over 11.5 minutes, and
50.
it's almost finished.
Yeah, Stephen Maguire will be a little bit disappointed. He had a couple of chances early on in the frame,
57.
but didn't make the most of them. Well, the red's not gone in, but shouldn't make any difference. 57 points to lead. That's another concession. Frame that could have gone either way. But in the end, it was Judd Trump who made the decisive break of 57. He leads 1-0.
Exactly as he would have wanted it. The long red was the making of that one, John.
Yeah, when you play and you get to this level, these are usually shots that Stephen Maguire gobbles up, and these are the ones you've got to knock in against Judd. If you're playing those, I mean, obviously the worst thing that happens is the red comes off and cannons the pack, but if you're going to win this match against Judd, they're the ones you've really got to be knocking in.
Stephen Maguire has, over the years, gained a reputation as a very fearless player. I remember 10 years ago when he first won this title, that's when he earned that nickname, On Fire Maguire. He just blew everybody away. Battle scars tend to come in thereafter, and he's freely admitted that. How would you rate him as a player these days now?
He should have won far more than he has. There's no doubt about that, and I would question obviously how dedicated he is to the game off the table sometimes. But there's no doubt he's got the talent and the will to beat the top players, but he hasn't been doing it regularly enough for me the last 2 or 3 seasons.
What needs to happen? What needs to change in his game, in you, if anything?
Maybe I think as you say, battle scars. When you keep underachieving, it has to affect your belief and your confidence. So whether he's got the true belief that he can compete with the likes of Trump and O'Sullivan now, that's what he needs to prove to himself.
We're about to see, this is the second consecutive semi-final. Made one last week, in fact, a couple of weeks ago in Germany, and here he is in York. How will he respond now? Frame 2.
Yeah, how will he respond, Hazel? That's the question. Well, I'll tell you one thing, he was at the table before the balls were set up. Normally you stay in your seat, but he was there waiting while the referee was setting the balls up, ready to break off, and it's a pretty good break-off shot. I think if he takes, well, I don't think he can take the pot on here because the white would go towards the pack. So just the safety, but he's sending that red towards the corner pocket, but he's okay. This is where Judd's game has improved so much. His safety and tactical play is much better than it used to be, and that's why he's such a difficult opponent, because we know when he gets in the balls, and with the cue power he has, he's unbelievable. But he's tightened up his safety game also. Well, what happened there? He bounced that. He didn't get any backspin on it. He was hoping to get back on the cushion behind the black, but I think he might just have gotten away with it. But let's have a look at what happened here. See the white bouncing? Never really got any backspin. He looks away in amazement, but I think he's just about okay.
Yeah, you were saying before about Judd Trump, Dennis. I mean, this red to the right of the blue into the far right corner is a red you just feel that he couldn't refuse a couple of seasons ago. Well, he's not refusing it now. Big shot. Tried to edge on the side of being safe by screwing the cue ball back, made the pot more difficult. What's he left?
Well, we'll find out very shortly, because he did edge his bets there, but you never know what's going to happen when you miss the pot. If he had taken it on full-blooded and dropped on the blue, he'd have been right in amongst them. And if that slipped past the blue, which it hasn't done, it's quite a thin snick now, but it does go past the red into the middle. But Judd had a very straightforward, easy safety shot. And when he got down to play his shot there, John, I thought he was going to go full-blooded and play for the blue, but he tried to screw back, you know, so that it might be safe. But you never know what's going to happen, and you can see cannoning into other balls there. And all of a sudden, it's Stephen with a chance.
6. 7. 11. 12.
It's not imperative that he gets absolutely perfect on the blue, but he obviously wants to be on an angle where he can come down to the business end, and he's just about got that, as you can see. If he ever
17.
gets wrong side the blue, he's always got that red to the left middle, so he should be quite happy with the way the reds are situated here. He'll be disappointed if he doesn't score heavily.
18.
But just at the moment, just over-hitting, under-hitting. You're just shaking his hand there. He was just, obviously, a little bit of tension in the arm. Big match, this. And as I say, whenever he came wrong, he always had this red to the left middle, but he'd like to have potted this and been on the blue. He can only play for a bought colour now. Well, would you believe
Maguire,
it?
20.
Wasn't on the red so he can get on the blue and just forgot about the pot. Thought, well, I'll just roll it in. Bound to be on a bought colour. What tension can do.
1.
Well, you won't see an easier pot than that missed, that's for sure. Just shows you just a little lapse in concentration. You're thinking about the cue ball. How costly is that going to be?
Yeah, we're only in the halfway through the second frame, but that's a few occasions now that he's let Judd off the hook, so to speak, when Judd's left him good chances and he's not taken them. So this is a terrific chance for Judd, and an unexpected one, and you always come to the table after getting an unexpected chance with a bit more feeling, I'll really punish my opponent. Because he must have been sat there a few moments ago thinking he'd probably lost the frame. Now every chance to win it.
$14.
Yeah, a little wry smile there. He's on the red now and he can't stay on the black. So he's going up for the blue. As long as he gets a good angle.
15.
And he has. So that's a slight problem dealt with.
Yeah, there's a red either side of the bunch. One into the right corner that he's played on, and then there's one into the left corner. So he doesn't have to play any cannons just yet.
$21.
Just about okay, but he'll head up for the blue again. Just undercooked that slightly. But those four reds are all covering each other. He's just checking them. I think they're covering each other, so he's only got one loose red to the right of the pink, but we'll find out if one of them goes. He's fine. He's in good shape. He doesn't have to play any cannons. As he pots this, it's going to clear the path for the one to the left
34.
of it. And there you see it.
$35.
And I think it's imperative that he punishes Stephen Maguire. You know, when you miss a sitter like that, if you can keep your opponent sitting in the seat and
41.
clinch the frame, it doesn't have to give him something to think about.
42.
Yes, you want your opponent to remember his mistakes, don't you? And the only way you can keep it in their mind is by really punishing them. And no reason why not now. He's got 28 points to lead.
48.
2 reds, 2 blacks would be enough.
49.
I don't know if he's glanced at the scoreboard yet. He should really. If he takes the pink off this red, he'll need another red. Doesn't look too difficult.
57.
He only needs that one more red after the pink, and he has made Stephen Maguire pay for that very careless miss in the middle pocket, it has to be said.
63.
Just took his eye off the pot. Oh, hang on. Hold your horses.
Well, he shouldn't have missed the pink, Dennis. But if he'd have looked at the scoreboard, off that third last red, he should have played for the black. The black would have been frame ball. Now 43 in it, 43 remaining. Could that miscalculation or playing for the wrong colour off the red cost him this frame?
This was the red, which normally would be pretty comfortable for him. Can he knock a more difficult one in here? Well, when you can pot like that, you don't fear anything, but he did make an error, but he's managed to get out of it.
The trump 1.
44 the difference, 35 on the table. It looks like it's 2-0.
Judd doing a little bit of gardening there.
Well, in the first semi-final, just where Judd was rubbing the cloth there, Stuart Bingham played a shot and the white rolled off. That's just where the joint and the slate is. So I don't know what he was rubbing the cloth at, maybe.
Well, he rolled up to the green, didn't he? And he maybe felt it just rolled off slightly, and instead of being tight on the green, left Stephen an easy escape. Stephen obviously wants to keep this last red on the table. Oh, and that's it, he concedes.
Yeah, I thought he might have carried on there because he hadn't stuck the red up, but what a start for Judd Trump. A little smile there. He now leads Stephen Maguire by 2 frames to 0.
Yes, we were detecting that perhaps the volcanic tendencies of Stephen were perhaps just beginning to smoulder there. The smoke was coming out, wasn't it, at the end? And that was not a great way to finish that frame for him.
Well, we talked about the long frame or the mid-red that he had in the first frame that he missed, and you can't do against Judd. You just can't miss the one in the middle pocket. I mean, you just cannot do this. Not in the semi-final against somebody as good as Judd, and it's just pure lack of concentration, nothing else. I mean, it's one of those shots you think you can't miss, so you get down and play it, and you do.
But when you see Judd looking across to Stephen Maguire, having been conceded that frame when he could have played on, it sends the wrong signals from Maguire's perspective, surely.
Well, if Judd wasn't confident enough already, he's won the first 2 frames virtually in one visit, so he's doing his job basically. Maguire's the first couple of frames made it easy for him. That red, he missed it. John was right, complete carelessness. But yeah, you're always looking for signs in your opponent if they're frustrated, and it just gives you a little boost.
And Stephen, which we actually all quite enjoy, will always let you know how he's feeling out there, won't he?
I mean, listen, I used to get frustrated and shake my head a lot, but he loses. He loses. I never lose my temper. He used to lose he loses his temper.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was talking to him about whether he plays golf or not, and he said he would do if he had any clubs left. Half of them are floating down the Clyde, so that tells you what he's like.
Thank you.
OK, well, if he can channel that aggression into some form here, then we'll certainly have a great second semi-final in this UK Championship. Judd, 2-0 up.
Yes, and he gets frame 3 underway, and he will be feeling very confident. And he's played well, to be fair, but Stephen Maguire, in the first 2 frames, Dennis, has had the first chances.
He certainly has, and just for anybody watching at home, don't be going to the Clyde looking for golf clubs, because they won't be floating down the Clyde. It's just John Parrott's lovely sense of humour there. It's amazing the number of times of the break-off shot, how the black gets tied up. We've said that so many times off. Whichever red they hit, somehow a red goes to either side of the black and puts it out of commission.
Well, you couldn't hit it much better than that, in all honesty. How did it not go in? Well, I know how it didn't go in, it was just pace. But you couldn't hit a pot better than that. Just the pace.
Judd put everything into the pot and forgot about the cue ball. Look where he's left it. I don't think he got a heavy contact. He just concentrated so hard on the pot and left the cue ball in no man's land.
Shot ramp 1.
That was an interesting choice from Judd there. He could have tried to get the snooker, but he would have been pushing the yellow safe, so he didn't want to do that. He wanted to keep the yellow in play, so that was quite an interesting little safety shot he played there. Left an easy return for Stephen. Oohs and ahs from the crowd. They've been fantastic today. I mean, the first semi-final, the atmosphere was unbelievable. This evening, when both players come into the arena, they got a fabulous round of applause, and they're a terrific crowd here at the Barbican. Packed house again, and with the one table. That's what you turn professional for, to play in front of an audience like that. And that one shot from Judd, clearing the black. He's coming up a little bit short, but he's been fortunate. He may have to just come off the side cushion and nestle on this red that's near the right corner pocket. And not a lot else he can do. That's not going to get there.
Foul and a miss. Shot ramp 4.
He just doesn't want to hit this too hard and leave a possible pot along the back cushion behind the black there. So he just wants to nestle on this red.
Yeah, and he'd like to hit it off 2 cushions rather than just the one. 'Cause if it's off the one, he could possibly leave a chance of a pot. Perfect. Well played. Needs to miss the brown, and he hasn't done. Tried to get the cue ball back to the balk end, but as I say so many times, you hit a ball colourful in the face, leave the cue ball near the balk line, it's dangerous. Stephen's slightly hampered by the brown, but this pot should not have been on. And in it goes, needs a bounce off the balk cushion. I think he's going to get it, and it'll be perfect on the brown.
1.
Well, not perfect, but he's on it. That was his first long pot. Judd's about right. I always reckon about 2/3 of the pots you go for, because the long pot success, sometimes you're playing shots for nothing. Playing for the open red. Didn't want to bounce too much, otherwise he'd be snookered by the black.
5.
He's just about made it.
I think the crowd told us there, John, before we seen the pictures, they knew he was on this red. They were already applauding.
Six.
Snooker's a great game to come to and be in the venue for the atmosphere, but I'll tell you what, watching on television, you can't be better. You see everything, don't you? You're right down the player's cue. Always has been a great television sport, going way back to the first pot black in 1969 at Pebble Mill, BBC Pebble Mill in Birmingham, and then the second pot black in 1970 when they switched to colour TV, and the game has just grown and grown.
12.
Deciding to play for the pink there because I think there's a red at the bottom of the cluster, the will pot. He'll be, well, I'm sure he knows the pink is back on its spot. Because if the pink didn't go back on its spot, that red might not be available. This is a very, excuse me, the yellow spot will be available. So he was never going to be covered for this red.
18.
So he's okay. And now the angle to go into
90.
them with a lot of pace. You always need a bit of luck, but he's got the perfect angle.
That's the two he'd like to cannon into there with lots of pace. Maybe a little unlucky. There's one to the left middle pocket. The only problem with that is he's got to make sure. Well, listen, if he cannoned the yellow, if he'd rolled this in and cannoned the yellow, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. You're always looking for a gap, but it seems a natural, and he'd be on the green or pink. Show you the split again. But let's see if it is a natural just to roll in, and it looks as if he's playing it with a little bit of screw on it. Well, He's okay. He's on the yellow, but just needs one more good positional shot to get him back into prime position.
$29.
That's a bit unusual to see the yellow sitting on the pink spot. You don't see that very often, do you? The pink on the yellow spot, yellow on the pink spot. Can't remember the last time I've seen that.
$30.
No, this cluster just below the yellow. I don't know if there's anything available. And these two straight on the black to play a cannon.
$37. $38.
Well, I can only assume that he thinks there is a red available. Because once again, he's not left a very good angle on the black to bring reds into play.
Well, as you mentioned, John, it didn't look a very good angle, but he forced it over there. He's opened the reds, but he's got one more tricky pot to play. And if this goes in, every chance to win his first frame in this semi-final. And he wants this frame sooner rather than later. So this long red to give himself a chance to win the frame. No. I just thought it was going to catch the right side of the pocket there. Okay, he hasn't left anything easy, but he should have clinched the frame there. He's 40 in front. Does this red go? There's a gap.
One.
Well, what a chance for Judd Trump to get himself right back in this third frame.
Well, once again, almost straight on the yellow and managed to force an angle.
3.
He'll do well to win the frame at this visit, particularly with this red that's close to the right-hand cushion. He's got plenty of points to spare, so it doesn't matter just playing yellows.
There's only one ball safe, isn't it? Because the red up to the right of the green, no problem for Judd being a left-hander. It's just the one that's underneath his body there on the cushion. That's going to be the key ball here. And I'm just looking in a few shots' time, he'd probably finish up getting onto the yellow to try and bring that into play. Because you see the other red there, this to the left of the yellow. If he puts this red, gets on the colour, then gets on that red to the left of the yellow in such a way that he leaves the, well, he's playing it now, that red. I would have been leaving that one there. He's tried to bring the red
15.
off with a red and potting a red.
You have to say, though, Dennis, he was unlucky there, wasn't he? He's played the cannon perfect, but just caught it too full. That's why he got the double kiss. Blue shouldn't be a problem. And a nice bit of right-hand side to bring him on this red, but he's still got the problem of that red near the right-hand cushion. That's going to be the big obstacle he has to overcome.
That's just a bit too far to stretch. And this is not straightforward. He's having to reach right over, tucking his waistcoat in there so that he doesn't follow the red. And he's quite a tall lad, Judd, so...
Yeah, I don't think the waistcoat's a problem. I think he's just got a problem trying to get the cue ball away from the side cushion. The angle he had. He couldn't do it.
21.
No problem.
Green ball.
Getting on the red to the left of the yellow, you feel. Well, what sort of side did he have on that? Needs to pull up. Now, if he had been
24.
dead straight on this red, well, he's not. He can't even see enough of it, can he, to pot it? That was a strange reaction he got when he potted the brown. It was as if he hit it with the wrong side. The white should have been coming towards, well, the green, sorry. The white should have been coming up, and it just went straight back, JV.
I think your mistake, though, was inadvertently the right thing to say, because I don't know why he's
24.
not played the brown. The brown would have given him a lot better angle to get the cue ball back in the middle of the table. Been lucky there, though, it seems.
Yeah, that's what John was talking about. We'll show you it in a second after Stephen plays a safety shot here. Well, it's not a straightforward one. This was the shot that I thought he would take the brown, pot it, come across past the blue, and he decided to hammer the green. That's a pretty good safety there. Bit pacey, needs the green to help him out here. Hasn't, so it's a free pot here for Stephen Maguire. Even if he doesn't get on a colour, if he can snick this red in, he could put Judd in all sorts of trouble.
Well, as you described it, Dennis, that was half a chance. If he pots the red, he'd have got the upper hand in this frame. And that was a good shot from Judd. Purposely playing the red into the black. Decent cue ball. A little bit of pressure on this safety shot now for Stephen.
I think it's imperative that he gets a good cue ball because he's not sure what's going to happen. He may play off the left side here to send the red over towards the black. And it's not safe, really. He wanted the white near the cushion. We know how good Judd is at this type of shot. Unbelievable. You just can't leave this young player half a chance.
Thank you.
That's a Judd Trump special there, if ever you've seen one.
Playing that with side, and he's just overhit it slightly. He may have the angle on the red, but boy, this is tough. This is tough. Oh, blow me down. Blow me down. What a pot that was.
We all thought he was going to roll that in. It's a very unusual situation. He's potted the yellow, as we show you that unbelievable pot at that pace, and the yellow comes back on its spot. Well, the referee got a red to put back on the spot there, but it's an unusual situation there, you know, with the yellow being on the pink spot. But well, he's still 5 points behind, and as long as, well, listen, he's got to force an angle, otherwise he'd screw in the middle pocket. And he did manage to just miss that. Has he gone far
13.
enough? Not out of the woods yet. Needs one more good shot if he's going to pinch this third frame. It's there.
Brown, blue
16.
and pink needed for 3-0. This will really hurt Stephen Maguire.
20.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. He couldn't have played it any better. He's going to have the simplest of pinks for a 3-0 lead.
25.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. Stephen Maguire in his seat will be fuming. And that's it. So everything going the way of the Judd at the moment. Stephen Maguire doesn't seem to have any answers. And 3 frames have been played. 3-0, Judd Trump.
Well, I think the only thing we can say after that is, wow, that was extraordinary. 2 shots in there, and John's jaw hit his chest. I think it's fair to say, John.
Well, I mean, the first red in itself is an absolute screamer. I mean, that is just pure, straight in the middle of the pocket. I mean, it's just a fabulous piece of cueing. I mean, the sound of it when it went in, right in the middle. It's hit the middle stitches in the pocket, that. But this one, I'm thinking...
You get your sentence out here, didn't you? You'd already potted it.
I know. I went, oh, these are tricky. You hit the front jaw with these, are no good. And he hit it 300 mile an hour. What a pot that was. Frightening.
You'd have been proud of those, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like the second one. As I say, John was saying, oh, this is a smelly shot. We're discussing it. All of a sudden, before we even finished the sentence, he whacked in 100 miles an hour. Brilliant. It just shows the confidence.
It does, yeah. And it's exactly what people in this wonderful Barbican Centre have come here on a Saturday night to see. It's fantastic value for money from his perspective.
It is. If you're a Stephen Maguire fan, you're in his camp, he's really thrown a frame away there. He should have won that frame before it came to that. So, I mean, listen, you can't give Judd Trump 3-frame start. Well, you wouldn't think you would. He's really got it. This frame is massive now, because if he doesn't win this one, 4-0 down, you can't see a way back.
Do you fear for him, Stephen?
Yeah, Judd looks so calm. I mean, as I say, we're talking about that last red. You don't play him like that unless you're ultra confident in your cue action and you've got total belief that you're going to win this match. And it's it's a long way back for Stephen now. He needs to do something special.
OK, back we go. Last before the interval.
Yeah, I'm with JP. Stephen Maguire badly needs this frame. But going back to that pot he knocked in, Judd, he did one against Rod Lawler along the bulk cushion down by the yellow, green and brown. I mean, we'll show you that again. At that pace, incredible. But he knocked one in against Rod Lawler, which was amazing, and he won the frame. Because Rod had him struggling a little bit. Okay, he's missed the pot there, but he's left it rather awkward. In fact, he's been rather fortunate to leave the white tight in the cushion. Boy, that's not an easy pot. He was going to get down and knock that in. I think he's better off with a good safety here.
Yeah, I think what puts him off it is if he pots it, he could cannon that red that's tight to the top cushion. So it's a dangerous pot to take on. Decent cue ball.
He's had a bit of a result there, his Judd. He can tell you that himself, because where the white is finished, you can't see the potting angle for that red, and I don't think he can see the angle with the red to the left of the blue to play a telling safety. that's usually the case when you're playing well. You get the ball running for you, and if you happen to miss one, you never seem to stick an easy one up.
Yeah, and on the other hand, if you've had your chances and not taken them, it's like the balls never forgive you. Although it's quite interesting the other day when Ronnie O'Sullivan was giving an interview, and he was saying that Steve Peters, the guy who's his mental coach, tells him to forget about all this fate and things that can happen, just concentrate on what's in front of you.
Yeah, we've all tried to do that. It's discipline, a very difficult discipline. And that flick on the yellow has left a chance. Oh, he's a long way off that. If he's got out of this safe, he's very fortunate. Well, that one will pot into the left corner, but it looks as if he's covered everything into the right corner, unless Stephen, well, he looked at the one along the cushion there. If it's tight on the cushion, it's not too bad. Cushion and ball at the same time, it'll cling to the cushion. No. Oh, it was.
One.
As soon as that left the cushion, I thought this is not going to go in. It's a brand new cloth on this table, and that sort of just
8.
helps the pot to go in off the angle.
9.
Do with a sizable contribution here to stamp a little bit of authority on this semi-final. It's the first to 6, so 3-1. It's not all that bad.
16. Thank you. 17.
Yeah, normally you would expect him to make the most of this opportunity, but he's under pressure to make the most of it. Having what's gone on in the first 3 frames. Can't afford any mistakes in this one.
$24. 25. $32. 33.
Not sure what happened there, whether he feels he's got a slightly heavy
40.
contact. Whatever happened, the white's gone close to the cushion. Okay, he's got the one over the corner pocket. There's a little bit of insurance, but he certainly wasn't playing for that one. He's 40 in front and needed a good cue ball there, and it would have been pretty straightforward to clinch this 4th frame. That's not easy. So I think the one over the corner pocket to the left of the yellow is the one.
41.
He was playing for the blue, believe it or not. And now he may have to take the black on. And if he plays for the blue and just goes a little bit too far, he got the pink. He just got into that too much. If he pots the pink, he's going away from the reds.
Yeah, and playing the black, he's got to try and avoid the kiss on the red immediately below the black. Well, he was still in the pocket, but a good recovery. That was a good pot.
48.
Looked to be a little bit wide for a fraction, but not wide enough for the pocket not to accept it. So he's got a chance now. He's not back in perfect position just yet, but he's still at the table.
$49.
And they're perfectly placed, you know. All those reds are available into the left corner. There's one to the right of the pink that's available to the right corner, but he's gone just a bit too far. He doesn't really want to be playing any cannons, but he might have to do here. Well, he didn't want that cannon, I can tell you that for certain. I think that's the end of break.
54.
How careless was that? Puffs his cheeks. Those reds were all covering each other. He was playing to get back on the red to the right of the pink and unintentionally flicked a red there. So he's just tapping the cue on the table, and he does get frustrated. He should have clinched this fourth frame there. He's going to have to wait for another chance now.
Yes, he lost position a few shots ago and never really ever got it back. Not inch perfect. So only a safety shot to play, and he doesn't really want to play safe off this red near the top cushion, but it seems the only red he can get back to balk off. This brings all the reds into play.
Steve Maguire, 54.
Well, he's looking at taking this pot on and getting onto the black. What a shot! What a shot that is, by the way. Well, that's almost, well, if not, it's better than the one he knocked in along the cushion in the previous frame. I mean, he's nearly on the cushion, played it with topspin to get on the black. Unbelievable that was.
Wow.
Well, surely he couldn't pinch this frame.
8.
That is amazing. It really is. Now he's just looking
9.
anxiously. He nudged the other red. Does it still pot? He's still got the one to the right of the pink, but that may just be covered slightly with the other red. But he's got the one to the right of the pink, as I say. Come up a little bit short.
16.
Yeah, it depends a lot now where the pink goes when it's respotted. Well, he's playing this. Does it go? Yes, it does, and a nice little flick on the blue. Only problem ball now, it seems, is the yellow.
Well, if he loses this frame here, is there a way back for him?
$22. 23.
He has nudged and tied up a red with the pink, but he's got plenty of opportunity to release that red. Well, he's a bit short there, so he'll have to go up for the blue. Unless he can flick the pink and run through to get on the black. Don't think so.
31.
Well, straight on the blue, but he shouldn't bother him being a left-hander. Just screw back a foot and leave a red to the right corner. Well, he can make an angle, it seems. Not much of an angle there. I prefer screwing it back. You'd have more control of the cue ball.
That's exactly what he's done. The red next to the pink might be
36.
tied up. The other one isn't. And if he gets a good enough
37.
angle here, he might decide just to bring the pink and that red into play. Now, he's got to be very careful here. He can play for the red that's 2 from the pink without risking the cannon here. He might do that first of all. And that's what he's done, so he's going to have one chance to bring that red into play.
You can see the disappointment
44.
on his face, Dennis. I think he wanted to leave a potting angle on this red so he could move the red away from the pink, and he's come too straight on it. So as you say, he's just got one chance now. Roll through, leave a nice angle on the black. And now play a cannon
45.
that could win the frame at this visit. You'd favour cannon in the pink rather than the red.
He's played it perfectly. And as John mentioned earlier, it's all about the yellow. He'll want to get as close to the yellow as possible with a slight angle so that he can get out for the green, but it's not going to be straightforward. We know the cue power he has. And have a look at this shot. Have a little look at this shot. Absolutely amazing. He's hammered the yellow in as well. Stephen Maguire flicked a red when he was on 54. And it looks as if it's going to cost him this 4th
64.
frame. A frame we said that he badly needed. But Judd Trump, well, he's just buzzing at the moment.
I have to agree, Dennis. This has been a sensational frame-winning break.
68.
It really has.
It's the first to 6, but it's going to be a long way back for Steve
79.
Maguire. He was odds-on favourite to take this frame. He's not bothered about the black.
79 on the frame.
He made a 54 break. But what did Judd Trump do? He cleared up with a break of 79, and he goes to the mid-session interval. He's won all 4. He leads 4-0.
Well, we've seen a maximum break here in York, but that's got to be one of the great breaks so far of this championship. And what about the opening red that led to that particular score?
He's absolutely flying. I mean, I know he's had games in this tournament where he's made 2 centuries in a row and big breaks, but he wouldn't have played many better 4 frames than that in his career. That was very, very impressive.
I was really impressed with this. I mean, on these championship tables, believe you me, that is a stinking hard shot, and he's just absolutely drilled it straight in. I mean, that was just a brilliant shot and a wonderful clearance, and we thought that Stephen had to win that frame to stay in it. He's got a mountain to climb now.
He does. And when you're sitting in your chair like that, what do shots like that do to you as the opponent sitting there watching it?
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, that first red, I was praying that it did clear up because it would be a waste of that long red if he didn't. It was just so good. I mean, it just shows how confident he is. And if you're Steve Maguire, I mean, what can you do? I mean, he thinks it's safe, and he's obviously played a careless positional shot. He should have won the frame, but I mean, that's just the ultimate punishment.
We're being harsh on him, but what he can do is when he gets to 40, make sure he gets to 70. I mean, but we're talking about the standard that you're playing at and where your Judd's playing. Well, he's been 40 odd in front in both games, and he's lost it to him. Okay, he's lost it to there, but he lost position initially. That made that happen in the rest of the frame. It's ultra critical, but if he's going to win this match, he's got to make 70 instead of 40.
But huge amounts of pressure, knowing when you do get to 40 to 50 that this man is waiting in the wings and could possibly clear up, just adds so much more to the task you've got to do, Stephen.
Absolutely, but that's what playing at the top level is all about. You know, I mean, if you're not capable of winning the frames in one visit, these guys, then you're going to lose. It's as simple as that, and that's. Unfortunately, that's the harsh reality of life at the top in any sport.
And it's been fantastic viewing, I must say, for everybody. I'm sure you're enjoying it at home. But this is the second instalment of drama we've had here in York, our second semi-final in this United Kingdom Championship. The first instalment took place this afternoon. Ronnie O'Sullivan, who has won this particular title 4 times before, up against Stuart Bingham, the world number 9. And this one was exceptionally close. Let's just tell you the story of the match, because it was Stuart Bingham who came out wonderfully good form. And it was already the Shanghai Masters champion this season. It started the match with such fluency and precision, racing to a 4-1 lead and knocking in a seemingly effortless 1-3-7 break on the way. For all the world, he looked like he had one foot in the final, and then he suddenly faltered. O'Sullivan, who'd struggled to find his rhythm, fought back with breaks of 62, 68 and 67 to take the next 3 frames and level the score at 4-all. Bingham regrouped. He went 5-4 up. Ronnie stepped in to make a superb 1-1-7, forcing this decider.
Thank you. The deciding frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
And Ronnie gets the deciding frame underway. Pretty good length with the cue ball.
Cameras and the phones away now, please.
As we say, Stephen, in any deciding frame, you're just looking for one chance. And straight away, Stuart might have a go at this long red, because he could get himself onto the black. Oh, that was close.
I couldn't have struck this much better. Now, how confidently will Ronnie play this red to the right centre? Will he play the cue ball in and out of bulk? Or will he just put the cue ball a bit more to safety? There's the answer. Very positive for colour. Has Stuart Bingham played his last shot in this semi-final already?
An early prediction from Stephen Hendry there, but he's been in this situation on many times as Stuart looks on, and
3.
all great champions seem to be able to close matches out in style, and that's exactly what Stephen Hendry's thinking. He's not playing on the main tour now, but he still thinks the way he always did.
Four.
Beautifully played, the stun run through, one of the nicest shots in the game to watch, and he's perfect on the black.
$11.
just got a little nudge on the blue, and it's the wrong side now.
I wonder if he'll risk going in between the green and brown with right-hand side of 2 cushions and into the pack here. It's quite a big target. He's played for the open red. And he's played it perfectly.
17.
He'll go into them this time. And this is a key shot early on in this deciding frame. And it's slipped away up the table. And he's faced with a medium length pot.
25.
And that can always happen when you're playing with that amount of screw inside. You can see the white arc its way around. That's a great recovery shot.
26.
He spotted something on the black this time, I think.
Yeah, this is the shot. Top spin, left-hand side into the pack as we watched this red. He had a natural angle to drop on the black, so just had to concentrate in the pot, but top spin into the bunch here. He's okay.
Oh, it might just be a little
33.
awkward. Because that pot, he's going to cannon into the 2 reds. You've just got to be a wee bit careful here. It's a bit of a stretch over the pink. No, that was always going to be difficult. He didn't
34.
quite get on the red as he would have liked, and that was always going to be tough. It's hard to judge exactly where the cue ball is going to finish when you're going through the bunch like that. But he's got an early advantage. Oh.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 34.
I think everyone in the Barbican thought he'd gone in off there.
So Stuart Bingham still in this match. I'm sure he feared the worst at the start of that break.
Well, Ronnie's had his chance in this deciding frame. Will Stuart get one? It was the first opening pot. You couldn't really call that a chance.
Safety shot. To judge the contact, when the reds are so close to the cushion, it's so easy to hit them thick. And this is tough to get the thin contact hitting across the red.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Yeah, you called it, Stephen, and he'd rather miss it altogether than hit it thick, but Ronnie's looking at the possible pot here. Wow, he's not guaranteed to get onto a colour, but he feels that maybe he can. Well, this is a big shot, isn't it? What a shot he's taken on here. And he's got the kiss on the black. 1. It says fortune favours the brave. He was brave there, and he got a lovely little nudge on the black. He deserved it, because that was a tough shot he took on. He could quite easily have put Stewart back in, and how many players would have taken that on? I can't think of too many.
8.
He'll take great pleasure from
9.
this win today. It's been nowhere near his best. 4-1 down. Perhaps let off in the next frame by Stewart. But he's just battled away. He'll be thinking about that 6th frame tonight when he looks back on this match.
17.
Yeah, it's going to be a deciding frame that he never really got a chance. But he's kept his cool, Ronnie, even at 4-1 down.
35.
From 4-1 down, he made breaks of 62, 68, 67. He made 117 in the last frame. And that is the pot that should get Ronnie O'Sullivan
32.
into the final of this year's UK Championship. The crowd here at the Barbican have been very fair. They've applauded Stuart Bingham with all the great snooker he played earlier on in this match. Been 7 years since Ronnie won the UK Championship. He's won it 4 times.
38.
And he's going to give himself a chance in tomorrow's final to make it 5 UK titles. It's a great feeling, even for someone like Ronnie
45.
O'Sullivan, although he's done it so many times. When you're walking around the table,
46.
you've clinched the match. You don't half feel good. I've enjoyed this
53.
match enormously.
54.
And there's the safety success rate, 86%.
60.
He's right up there, but
61.
can't finish with a century, but he's definitely closing the semi-final out in style.
67. 69.
Not giving the referee much time to spot the balls, but
72. 76.
Stuart did remarkably well after losing 3 frames to get himself 5-4 in front.
81.
But it wasn't quite enough against this genius.
87.
The crowd are enjoying this end to the semi-final. Well, he was 5-4 down. He made breaks of 117, and then he cleared up with that 94. And that's nice to see the 2 players having a chat about it. But in the end, it's the people's champion that goes through to the final, and he defeats Stuart Bingham in a deciding frame, 6 frames to 5. Well done to both players.
Over the moon to get through a match that I probably had no right in winning really at 4-1. I was getting kind of beat quite comfortably in every department. It wasn't like he really gave me a chance really, and he just looked so comfortable around the table, so relaxed, looked at ease with his game, and I just thought, I'm out here, and I got lucky really again.
Every now and then you do just get carried away, especially like playing like I was and sort of getting running on the back foot. He said after the match, he said if that was a boxing match, the referee would have stopped the fight. He said you were smashing me up. Simple as that, really. But I sort of let him back in it, and he pulled out a great clearance at the end there to win the match.
I draw on my experience sometimes to think, okay, when the pressure gets going, then I feel that it doesn't matter so much. You know, I feel like, you know, it's more of like a, you know, who's gonna rise to the occasion, and then I feel like, you know, I can compete with anybody. But you know, I don't want to be kind of keep relying on going behind and having to find inspiration to win. I want to come off the gun early and kind of start dictating play, and then you kind of put a little bit more fear into your opponents, and then it kind of puts them off their game. But at the moment, I'm giving people, you know, a bit of belief and a bit of confidence that they can beat me, you know, and rightly so, because they're playing a lot more and they're feeling sharp, and I'm not. But you know, I'm going to try and put that right, and I'm going to try and play a bit more, not a lot more, but a bit more, and just try and find that right number and that right amount of games that can make me feel like I'm on a level playing field, if you like.
Very honest assessment from Ronnie, but he's into his 5th United Kingdom Championship final. He's won all 4 of his previous ones, including the last time in 2007, so he's scratching a 7-year itch, in effect, in this championship. But as for Stuart Bingham, well, he tweeted shortly after that semi-final a picture of himself with a trophy, actually said, "Nearly had my hands on it this year. Thanks for all the positive messages. I'll be back fighting next year." But we've got Stephen and John here. How should Stuart reflect upon that match? Well, it was in effect a collapse. He admitted it himself there. How do you rationalise something like that afterwards?
He'll have to look back at it and think, when I went 4-1 up, how did I change mentally? What happened? He obviously, it was like all of a sudden like a rabbit in the headlights. It's like, I must have thought like, oh my God, I can get in the final here. I can beat Ronnie O'Sullivan. I could get in the final. And he just froze completely. The next frame, it was just 2 different players. And he'll have to look at how he changed his attitude, how he changed his focus in that frame.
John, Ronnie talked very openly about his competitive instincts and having to rely on that brinkmanship feeling almost, because he hasn't been dominating the early stages of the matches here so far in York, has he?
Not at all. But he's got an innate ability to play at his best when the pressure's at its worst. And that really is what great champions have got. And every time he looks like he's pressured and he looks like he's going to get out, he goes up through the gears and he finds something from somewhere. And that, I mean, Stephen was magnificent at it, Steve Davis, all the great champions are finishing matches off. He'd be as good as anybody at finishing a match.
Said he doesn't like to have to rely on that, but it's nice to know it's in your locker, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he hasn't had to experience it too often. That's probably why. I mean, we all know he's probably the best front runner the game's ever seen. But, you know, it's probably... Yeah, he's probably a weakness. He's not as good when you put him under pressure. And Stuart Bingham had him today, isn't it? Let's not mess about. But he let him off the hook. And in the end, he came out as obviously great champions do. He won in style. OK, well, it seems at this point that we might be looking at an O'Sullivan-Trump match-up tomorrow, because Judd is galloping right now towards another final. So back we go, Judd Trump 4-0 in front. The Scot, Stephen Maguire, the 2004 champion here, has to find something and find it very quickly. So back we go to the 1985 world champion, Mr. Taylor, and the 1979 United Kingdom champion, Mr. Virgo.
Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you.
35 years
Thank you,
ago.
frame 5. Judd Trump.
I feel old.
Well, you look okay, JV, to me.
Thank you, Dennis. You're only saying that because you're younger.
Not the best break-off from Judd. And, OK, the black, once again, a red's gone to the left of the black and put it out of commission. But there is a pot on, and you know what Stephen Maguire's like. He's so aggressive. He's 4-0 down. He's going to give it his best shot here. So he'll go for everything, I would think. Terrific shot. He's got the pink. He was hoping to be on the black, but that's what he's got to do. And as I say, he's the sort of player he just won't give up. He'll give it everything he's got here.
Well, he's at the point, having lost the first 4 frames, he can't afford to miss anything now when he's in amongst the balls.
One.
Nice clean pot on the yellow. I don't know if the black goes into the same pocket as he's playing this red, but you would think guarantee position he's back up for the blue. Oh, he needs a kiss. Got one.
4.
It always happens, JV. When you're playing well, that's the run of the ball that you get. If you're struggling, you miss the kiss on the blue. Okay, would have been on a ball colour, but he's finished absolutely plumb on the blue. Just watch this for a lovely little flick. But how does he get the black into play here? Because the pink's out of commission.
9.
Watch how he gets back for the blue. He'll hardly hit this. He's almost dead straight. He might need the extension, but there's nobody in the game times the ball better than Judd Trump on this type of shot. He hardly hits it, but the action he gets is quite amazing. Didn't quite get enough this time, but maybe that's because he was using the extension.
Absolutely, I was just going to say that, Dennis. It just makes the cue feel a little bit different. He's got quite a bit of work to do now with this blue. He can't really come down the right-hand side of the table because even going in between the green and brown, he could catch the pink. So coming down the left-hand side of the table, I'm not certain what red he can play on. Well, he's on one. In fact, probably the only one
15.
he could get on.
I'm just wondering, JV, if he can cannon that red as to the right of the black. If he pots this and comes off the cushion, or anyway, if he cannons into it, he'd be on the black. He's misjudged it.
16.
Well, just looking at that side shot there, the black was available. I'm surprised you didn't play it with less speed. I don't think he'll be carrying on this visit. Looks like only a safety shot to me.
Green ball. Judd Trump, 16.
Well, he got the double kiss, a little bit disappointed. It just meant that the cue ball's not tight under the ball cushion, but just at first look, no harm done.
Well, there must be a slight angle here because he can't get on the black. He's got to get up for the blue. Well, he nearly sent the red off the table now. I suppose that's the difference between, I mean, he's got tremendous cue power as Stephen Maguire, but Judd Trump seems to be able to play them shots like no other player. That was asking a bit much. Ooh, the hurdling season. Oh, is he on the black? He hasn't hit it hard enough. That's a great chance he's let slip. Did he get a heavy contact? Maybe. Let's have a look at this. Didn't seem to kick.
I'm not quite certain what he can do here. You wouldn't think he'd take a pot on. Maybe just come off the side cushion and nestle to the pink. That would cover the red in the balk end, possibly.
Green ball.
Be careful he doesn't leave Stephen a chance of a red here.
Judd Trump 1.
Well, as it turns out, he couldn't have played it any better.
Well, the simple equation here is Stephen Maguire has to win this 5th frame. 5-0. You can't see him winning 6 frames in a row against Judd Trump. 4-1. Still in with a shout.
He'll settle for that. The greens come to his rescue. The red he hit could have gone anywhere. There you see. Judd may be able to snick the red, but he certainly can't hit the side of the red he'd like to. Can't risk going back to the balk end, so he's going to have to leave the cue ball, you would have thought, near this top cushion. This is where, when you're playing them slow, you've got to trust the table.
And the red he's playing is going to bring the black into play.
Yeah, couldn't have played it much better than that. He knew he was going to leave a possibility of a red. There's 3 reds in the middle of the table. Certainly the one that's free from them will go to the far corner or the middle, but he's left the cue ball so close to the top cushion. Stephen not even entertaining thought of a pot, just to safety.
Hit that far too thick. He was hoping to get in behind the green and he made a bit of a mess of it. Okay, the white's gone close to the cushion. Well, it's not straightforward to drop this in and get onto the black. I mean, the black's clear from the left side of the table, but you see where he's got the tip of the cue? That's where he'd need to finish. Don't know if he can get there. He'd love to be able to drop somewhere in the circle to leave the black, but can he roll the red and get the cue ball there? It's not bad. It needs to pull up, though. Needs to pull up.
1.
He's gone just a fraction too far, has he? Just. He was only an inch out there.
Ping ball. Steve Maguire 1.
Really sneaks in behind the green. There's a safety success. Now, Judd Trump's playing very well this evening, but 63% is not good enough at this level. And neither is 76% for Stephen Maguire, but 63% safety is very low. Just tells me that he's just been picking up the pieces when Stephen Maguire has made mistakes. If he's in the final tomorrow against Ronnie, that stat will have to improve.
Mind, it is a part of his game over the last couple of seasons that has improved dramatically. His tactical play has been overall very good indeed. He played it as a shot to nothing, but you never know where the reds are going to finish. In fact, he's left both reds on. So not a bad chance now for Stephen Maguire. Looked a bit of a reckless shot, that, but it wasn't. He was just playing a safety shot, but you never know where the reds are going to finish. I'll just show you it again. If he had a wobble this in the jaws of the pocket, he didn't even get it in the jaws. That's why it knocked the other red up the table.
Four.
Goes without saying now, Stephen's got to take this opportunity. And as we always say, Dennis, the longer you can keep them away from just needing one frame, you just feel as though you've got a little bit of margin of error. As you say, Judd really didn't have much option but to play the shot he did on the last visit. So going into him, how's your luck? Seems okay, he's landed perfect.
10.
Just looking at the three reds around the pink spot area, there's no need to play any cannons. As he gets on one, it'll clear the path for the other two in a couple of shots' time.
$18.
Just looking at the score, he might need that difficult red to make absolutely sure
90.
of the frame. He's got the perfect angle here just to stun the black in and leave the red at the back of the three. And once he pots this, the other two will be available into the right corner.
26.
Yes, he's got 11 points lead. 3 reds, 3 blacks. We'll put him 35 points in front with 35
27.
remaining. So he's going to need the red near the top cushion.
$34. 35.
He'll probably play for the red near the pink spot, but when he gets to the situation where he's 35 in front, that's where he'd love to put the cue ball, just to roll that red along the cushion. So a few shots time, he'll be hoping to get somewhere near that white. I managed to stick up there.
Yeah, and I think the reason he didn't play for it that time
42.
is because when he's potted another red in the colour, he'll only need the red, so he doesn't have to be doing anything with it. Just roll it along the top cushion at just the right speed to drop. But he needs a good angle on the black. And he's not got it. He's overscrewed that by a good 10 inches.
Well, he's still got to try and get to where I had that other cue ball up, and he's got to go all the way around the angles. He doesn't want to leave the red into the right corner. That's much more difficult. Now, how do you get the white around the angles? He might be able to do it. Just avoid the middle pocket, avoid the brown. And he'll come right around the table.
Yeah, I think the brown's the big ball there in his eye line. Can he avoid the brown? Well, he's not even tried to get on the red. He's made certain of the black. He's got a 35-point lead, 35
50.
remaining. Made no attempt to get on the awkward last red. So Judd Trump still very much in this frame. There's not a safe ball on the table. And if you can tie, of course, you don't need a snooker.
Steve Maguire,
But
50.
that's a terrific finish to his visit from Stephen. Excellent shot and deserved a tap on the table from Judd.
You just got to rely on a bit of luck here. Hit the red and hope you knock it safe. Well, he hasn't even hit the red, so that's... You'd have to say...
Foul. Steve Maguire 4.
The frame over. He now needs a snooker to tie.
Yeah, I thought they'd changed the rule there, Dennis. If you could tie and you missed, was a miss not called? Or am I confusing myself and everybody else?
I think it's always been the rule. As long as you've got a chance to win, they don't call the miss.
And once he'd missed, snookers were required,
Yeah.
so... Well, there's the snooker. Easy to hit, but you won't want to play it with too much pace. If you miss it, you could leave a free ball. Oh, he hit it well, and he's got the snooker back. Needs the blue to come to his rescue, and it hasn't. And if Stephen Maguire can knock this red in, he'll have his first frame on the scoreboard. And certainly plenty of encouragement from this packed Barbican crowd here. They want to see a match. So no matter what happens now, Judd Trump will not be coming back to the table.
4. 6. Foul.
Well, it's got enough.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry, the
6.
green
Judd
going.
on
It doesn't
4.
matter. The break of 50 was enough. Judd just having a look at
Frame
the
Stephen
scoreboard.
Maguire.
Yes, he nods a concession. So Stephen Maguire has got his frame on the scoreboard. He still trails, though, 4 frames to 1.
And fans of Maguire will be absolutely delighted and extremely relieved about that. And at last, a couple of things going his way in that frame, Stephen.
Yeah, he's never going to give up. I think that's the difference between obviously best of 9s that we used to play and best of 11s. At least when you get to the interval, he's 4-0 up. He still needs 2 frames to win. So there's always that breathing space for Stephen. So yeah, he'll still believe.
If you'd been in his corner in the interval, John, what would you have been saying to him at that point?
Just to hang in there. As I say, the good thing is it's first to 6 and not first to 5. So there's, you know, you've got that little bit extra breathing space. But just to make sure that the next frame you're playing, which is that one, you definitely win that, because there's no way back from 5-0 down, or you wouldn't think so. There has been this week, I know there has, but I mean, you're not in this against Judd, you wouldn't think so. So he's done the first thing. He's got a foothold in the match, and now the next one, every frame, like John Pulman used to say. Dennis always mentions the great John Pulman commentary. play every frame as if it's the match.
Absolutely. Former world number 2, of course, Stephen. He really has scaled the heights of this game, but as yet, he's won 5 major titles, obviously, and this was the biggest of the lot, the United Kingdom Championship. His campaigns have seemed to stall in the last 20 or so months. He hasn't been in a big final since the Welsh, I believe it was, in 2013. What do you detect about his game in that intervening period, Stephen?
Again, I mentioned it earlier, is whether he's you know, dedicated enough off the table. I don't know whether he practices, I don't know his regime, whether he's practicing the same amount, but yeah, there's so many tournaments now. I think it's really hard to sort of keep your best game for the biggest events now. You don't know when you're going to play well, almost. And
it's difficult because, you know, he's a family man. He's got 3 kids at home. It's a difficult work-life balance for guys on the tour now who are family men. They've got children at home. They've got responsibilities, obviously.
Yeah, I think one of the best things he's done, though, for the ranking system is to make it on the prize money. So now you can pick and choose a little bit more. Beforehand, it was a little bit like having a gun put to your head with the ranking list you had to play and everything. But at least now you can pick and choose a bit more. It is very difficult. I mean, I think probably, Stephen, you might have been playing a little bit as well, wouldn't you, if you'd you know, if it had changed a couple of years ago, you know, and you weren't, you know, could have been carrying on playing a little bit more because of the circuit like that. So it is difficult, but it's better now.
We have seen this man, of course. I mentioned 10 years ago here in York. He was absolutely fearless, was going for everything, and he is a brilliant player when he's on song.
Oh, and like when he first came on the scene, he was like, the top players would, you know, the likes of Sullivan's, myself when I was still playing, you didn't want to play Steve Maguire because he was like really up for playing the top players. So yeah, I don't know what's happened in the last 2 or 3 seasons, whether that the belief is gone or I don't know. It's strange, but he'd be one that obviously everyone was talking about before the semi-finals is going to be a Trump O'Sullivan final. He'd be one of the ones that'd be really annoyed by that, and it'd really spur him on for tonight.
I really like watching him play. I think he hits the ball with great authority. I mean, some people have got, you know, cue actions that are suitable for these tables or whatever. You know, they don't have to have a great deal of cue action. Don't take it. He hits the ball. He's a ball striker, Stephen Maguire, and you can tell generally when he's playing because if you're on another table, it's the back of the pocket and pretty clean.
Okay, well, he's got a foothold in this semi-final. Back we go.
Well, we always say you never settle till you get your first frame on the board. He's had to wait to the 5th frame to do that, and it's not the best break-off shot. He's left a possible pot for Judd here. And the red's coming back over the pocket. He might be blocked for that, but the other one goes. And once again, off the break-off shot, there's a red just gone to the left of the black, and I don't think it's tied the black up. The black's available into the left corner, but I don't think he can get to leave an angle for the black to that pocket. He might have to play a cannon onto the red to leave the pink here.
One.
Now, if this black goes to the left corner, this is a pretty good chance. And it obviously does. Now, in potting this, and it looks to have landed absolutely perfect, just nudge the red just above the black away, and then he'll be on the red to the left of the black, and then the black will be clear for both corners.
That's okay. Both these reds are available to the right corner. Make
16.
no mistake about it, if Stephen Maguire gets on a roll, he could win 2 or 3 frames in no time at all. And he gets going, he's very aggressive. Been a professional now for 15 years. And I remember going up to Spencer's Club in Stirling and having a practice session with Stephen when he turned professional. And that club's no longer there, but he used to practice with Stephen Hendry, John Higgins. I know they'd be the first to say they all learned their trade playing against Stephen Hendry and became
31.
top players quite quickly because of that experience.
32.
Probably a little bit more angle on the black than he would have liked. You'd think he'd play it with top spin and go into the reds here, but maybe there's one loose red that's available. No, he went into them. Oh, where's that gap appeared from? Mind the gap. Unbelievable.
39. Thank you.
You just can't believe what's happened there. I mean, have a look. Have a little look at this. You'd be lucky to be able to shoot the white directly through the gap, never mind off a cushion after potting a ball. And already 39 points in front. One good little split there, and he had a chance to get another frame on the board. Well, that is unlucky, and the yellow's not going to come to the rescue.
Steve Maguire, 39.
Well, Stephen goes back to his seat as we show you this wobble in the jaws. He goes back to his seat smiling to himself. He's still smiling there. How did he find the gap, and how did that red not drop? That's the drag shot he's played there to hold for the black, playing with lots of bottom. But have a look again. I mean, how is that sneaked between those two reds?
Eight. 9.
Yeah, he's okay, isn't he? I thought he was going to slip up past the blue, but he's opened a few more reds, and he's on this one,
60.
the right corner. See the white just arcing slightly there.
17.
I'm very impressed with Judd Trump at the moment. The way he's staying so still on the shot. And I had a tendency to think sometimes that he did do a bit of movement because he was hitting the ball so hard, but because he's cueing so well, he doesn't have to throw everything into it, so to speak. And looks very confident, but he still needs a good shot here. Thinks there's a loose red. There's certainly one on the left-hand side of the table. Is he on one to the left corner? Is he on it?
20.
I think he is. You always look tell by the body language whether a player's on or not on a ball.
I'll tell you what, John, he didn't play for that one, but he'll take it. He played for the one that's to the left of the pink. He's in great shape now, and nothing safe on the table.
29.
And that little nudge
30.
means that all the reds are now available. Fear the worst here for Stephen Maguire.
$37.
Well, through no fault of his own did he go back to that seat. How he found that gap, I'll
38.
never know. And then how the red didn't drop. And now Judd just 1 point behind. This black put him 6 points in front. So these 4 reds with high value colours, we'll see him get to the snooker's required stage
45.
in this frame.
And there's no problem with the one that's near the
46.
cushion, because Judd being a left-hander, that's perfect for him.
$53. $54.
That breaks of 57, 63 and 79 so far. So it shouldn't really be a problem getting on that last red.
Yeah, imperative though, he gets a good angle off the colour.
60.
Stephen may be fearing the worst. Now has he got the angle on the pink?
61.
He has.
Yeah, anywhere in the circle would be ideal. And he's got the angle to do that, I think.
This red puts him 29 points ahead with only 27 remaining. And you wouldn't think that Stephen Maguire will get back to the table now. Nicely on the blue.
Yeah, he was very unlucky in this frame, Stephen Maguire, but
73.
take nothing away from this. This is a super clearance from Judd.
75.
And there's just 100 dead on the table. He made
78.
50 centuries last season. He made 37 this season. He's already made 6 this year in the UK Championship.
82.
He's made more centuries this year than any other player.
87.
But this was a beauty. And it didn't take too long.
93.
He's made 304 in his career. And there's another one coming. Okay, Stephen Maguire was a bit unlucky. But there was nothing unlucky about that clearance. That was a fabulous century break from Judd Trump. And he now leads 5-1. He just needs one more frame for a place in tomorrow's final.
It's his 7th century of this championship here in York, and I think that frame did illustrate that how you can get contrasting fortunes with the run of the balls out there, Stephen.
Yeah, it's sometimes you can see it's not your night sometimes. I mean, he's won a good frame before, he's in there, he's got a good chance. Any contact on the red here is going to be on something. And how he's found that guy, that's just, when it's not your night, it's not your night.
No, Piccadilly line straight through there.
Well, it was like the cue ball went on the diet before it got to the reds. I mean, I just don't know how it got through there.
Yeah, and as for Judd Trump, I mean, there was a couple of shots there he probably didn't mean to play for, but they came off nonetheless.
I mean, he's played a shot off the blue here, and he's come around the angles, and to finish exactly where he is, right through the gap like that, and Dennis said on commentary he's not played on that red. I don't think he played on it either, but it's absolutely perfect.
And of course, it's now given him, well, possibly unassailable lead. Is there any way back now for Stephen Maguire?
No.
In a word, no.
Don't think so.
Would you concur?
Percentage-wise, it's probably 10 or less or something that he could win this match from here. I mean, he's going to have to play fabulous snooker and not miss, and get a bit of help off Judd.
Yeah, and also hope that Judd maybe sees the winning line and gets excited about getting to the final, and maybe, you know, takes his eye off the ball a little bit.
That's a lot of factors, guys. Back we go. Frame 7. Will he cross the winning line now?
Yes, that is always something that crosses the player's mind, and we've said on many occasions, Dennis, haven't we, that the frame that takes you over the winning line is invariably the hardest one to win.
I love listening to Stephen Hendry. He doesn't mince his words. Is there any way back? No. He's probably right, but never say never. Nigel Bond came back from 5-0 and won 6-5 earlier in this championship.
Yeah, and just looking at the match time there, we played 6 frames, just an hour and a half. Yes, it certainly can be done, but I think the reason that Stephen said that was because Judd is playing so well. And you just feel that if Judd gets a chance, he's going to make it count. And surely, in the next, well, if we play 5 frames, he's going to get at least a couple of chances to clinch the match. And he's got half a chance here. Got to clinch the match, but certainly get the first chances to slow up. Because of the potting angle of the red, it was hard to control the speed of the cue ball. And it's just overrun. Now, he won't be that keen, really, on just tucking up behind a ball cover, but well, he is doing because there's no other shot on. But he won't expect to be given a chance here by Stephen, you wouldn't have thought.
I think the reason he tucked up was because of the red that's to the right of the bunch. I mean, if Stephen goes off the right side of the table and lands on the reds, he'd leave that pot. So he's somehow, well, he's playing an exhibition type escape here all the way around the angles to land in the side of the reds. And that's always difficult on a new cloth to judge. It's a sort of shot, you know the angles, but if they're sliding off somewhat, not easy to judge it.
Yeah, Stephen's shaking his head, I must admit. It looked perfect, but off that 4th cushion, it really did slide. He's trying to nestle this cue ball into the main bunch of reds.
I think if he takes it on again, because it slid, he's going to have to get closer to the blue, you would, or to the red that's near the middle pocket, you would feel. I mean, that's where he'd have to go, so he'd go close to that red. Now he's going to try it again. Let's see how close to the red he gets, because I think he's got to do to get into the bunch. You see, he didn't play to hit that, but hang on a minute. He's got into the side of the pack with the 8 of a cannon on the other red. Well, Judd's looking to see if he can cut this in. Surely that's too thin. He's going to take it on. It's a thin one, this. It's in. I think that shot wouldn't have been available to him had Stephen have landed right in the side of the pack, but he could get his hand on the table and he wasn't hampered, but still a great shot. That's not a great shot, though.
Sure. 6.
This is a good pot, that. He'll be a bit disappointed he ran into the yellow there. He's still got a red to the left corner, possibly one to the right corner, but not as close to these reds as he would have liked.
Trump 6.
I expected him to knock that in, but as I say, it's the frame that will get him into the final, so no matter how experienced you are, it's still the most difficult frame to win. Well, he wanted to cover that one that's to the right of the green, but, well, with Judd Trump being a left-hander, if he knocks this in, he's on the black. Oh, I tell you what, didn't even get close to the pocket there, so maybe he's getting a little anxious. Sure, he hit that harder than he intended.
Stephen left a path to this red to the far right corner. Just off straight. It's a risky shot to take on. But with Judd, you know, I mean, he can look at a type of shot like this, doesn't see a positive safety. Might be tempted.
Yeah, he looked at one to the right middle pocket also, and he might favour that one. He's just looking to see what he would leave. I mean, if he drops this red in, the black's available. And so is he trying to leave the white tight in the cushion and hope to pot this red? No, too wide. He's gone too wide. Who used to say that? One man and his dog, John. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, was it Phil Drabble, was it? Now, that red he played, has he covered the potted angle to this red near the far right corner? Obviously not, because Stephen's having a look at the potted angle. This was a dangerous shot to play. The one to the middle, it was an acute angle. And if he pots this, unless he's very unlucky, he'll be on the black. Well, he's on a choice of colours. Brown will be better.
Five. Six.
Couldn't do much there. But we just have a look at the red that started this break. Look at this red rattle the jaws, but dropped. In the last frame, he had one did exactly the same and stayed over the pocket, and it cost him fractions. That's all it is.
Now, Stephen would be looking to leave himself an angle on the black here so that he can pot the black and get into that bunch of reds. Or was he screwing into the reds here by the looks of things?
Thank you.
Decided to bring a few of them into play off the red. He knew there was always a good chance he'd be on the pink, but I don't think it's finished ideal for him. May have to come around the back of this red that's near the black spot. Just having a quick look at it. Don't know if he can hold for it. He might be able to just hold for that red. And that might just have worked out about perfect. That little cannon has held him on a red for the right corner.
18.
Well, he's okay. That one doesn't go, but there's one to the middle. So not quite an ideal position just yet.
19.
If he plays this red to the left middle, then I think he would clear the pink spot. Now he decides whether he wants that pink spot clear at the moment.
$26.
Yeah, he's just ignoring the black at the moment, as he knows it would go up onto the green spot.
32.
So he's quite happy to leave himself on the pink. Have to take the black
33.
this time, and I'm just looking at that pink spot. The black may go on the pink spot now, so he's got to be a little bit careful here. No problem with this red going into the right corner. That's put the black out of
40.
commission, but shouldn't really cause a problem. With that red, the other side of the blue, didn't matter which angle he left himself on the blue.
Yes, key shot coming up now off this red. Because I don't think there's a red that's available, or not easily available.
46.
So he may have to play the cannon. And of course, to play the cannon needs a good angle on the blue.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, John. Because that red
47.
to the left of the little bunch of reds doesn't go into the right corner. So this is the key to keeping himself in this year's UK Championship. He's got the one to the middle.
52.
Just a quick glance at the scoreboard. 41 in front, so he needs a few more pots just yet. I think he can get himself onto the colour here.
53.
Been a good effort this from Stephen Maguire. 5-1 down. He's giving it his best shot here. He knew he would always do that. Oh, surely he hasn't covered this. Well, that tells me that he might have. That's unlucky again. He was
59.
very unlucky in the previous frame when he found a gap. And he's played a cannon there, and it looked almost certain that he's bound to be on a red. And let's see as we pull out. You see, he can't get to the potting angle. That's unlucky. And the one to the middle is very difficult.
The only thing I would say, Dennis, why play a cannon? He could have played for a red. The red immediately above the pink was available into the left corner. So, and when you run into him, you always take a risk. Needs this red in a cover, more importantly, the red. And it's there. Well played.
60.
But if he hadn't have been on a red, it would have been of his own doing. And now snooker's required.
67.
Well, that'll encourage Judd Trump to come back
Steve
to the
Maguire,
table.
67.
Okay, 56 points behind, 51 remaining. On the face of it, 2 snookers required, but not beyond the realms of possibility.
Especially if you can get 2 reds and 2 blacks with the red left. The pink is perfect for a snooker. Well, that's all history now.
Just a few long pots in this frame, hasn't he? I mean, OK, this frame might be over. You wouldn't put that down to being anxious, but a couple of pots he's played. Doesn't look as comfortable as he was getting to 5-1 in front.
Yeah, it's that frame that'll get him into the final, and he probably got a little bit anxious. Missed a couple early on in this frame that he wouldn't normally. He's got a kick there, but Judd will stay on his seat, I'm sure.
Just checking it out. 57 behind, 43 remaining. Yeah, nods, that's enough. So Steve Maguire keeps his hopes alive, but he still trails by 5 frames to 2.
Well, he's come out fighting the last couple of frames, hasn't he? And suddenly, Judd Trump's long potting appears to, if not have deserted him, certainly gone down a notch.
Yes, a little bit of encouragement for Stephen there. Obviously, he's got a long way to go. I'd probably say it's the first rung on a very high ladder he has to climb this evening. But, yeah, you know, seeing him miss a few and looking a bit anxious at maybe taking a few of them on. Bit of encouragement.
Clearly still wants to win, obviously, goes without saying, but the fact is what could have been a bit of a drubbing is looking less like a drubbing now, and I guess that is at least of some comfort at this stage as Steve Maguire makes his way back into this match.
Yeah, Stephen's experienced enough to know that this is the final frame, and you'll know that Judd's desperate to get in that final to play Ronnie, so he'll play on that. He'll maybe try and, you know, I don't know, not slow it down, but one frame at a time.
It's amazing what can happen when you see the winning post.
Yeah. And we've seen Judd Trump, in all seriousness, we were just talking about this when we were playing there. Judd has let slip big leads before. This would be an extraordinary one, you've got to say. But where there is life, there is hope.
And as Hazel said the other day, Steve Maguire's boat hasn't sailed yet. I like that saying that Hazel come out with. I told you I'd use it again, Hazel. Meanwhile, Stephen's break, not the best. That's a bit more like it from Judd. Missed a few long ones early on in the last frame. And there's an early chance because there's 3 reds available and he'll be looking immediately to try and get onto that one that's to the right of the black. He doesn't have to do it straight away. If it's gone too far for that one, he's got the one to the right. It's where you play the white into a position that you've given yourself options, and that's what's happened there. Too far for that one, but okay for the other.
Played for the blue, but would have liked to have been a little bit straighter now, Judd. Is it time to play the blue and smash into the pink? Or is he frightened that there may be a plant to one of the corners and a red might? Well, there you go. He's looking. We had one last night, didn't we, Dennis, in the match, and you called it. And you've got to be careful.
Yeah, I would leave them alone because that is a possibility. He would squeeze that plant into the pocket if he doesn't catch it right. So he's working out all the options there. So what's his choice?
Well, if he's going to play into the pink, I don't think he can afford to hit it full steam ahead, if you like, because that red could definitely go in the right corner.
Here it comes. Here comes the red. He never even looked at it.
Foul. Shot from 6.
Amazing. He didn't have to do that.
Well, I thought he'd looked at it, Dennis. I thought he'd looked. I thought he was aware of it. Little less pace. Schoolboy error.
You could see the side on the cue ball played with lots of right-hand side. The natural angle would have took him straight into the brown and come off that bulk cushion. Now have a look at the white here. Watch as it hits the cushion. Spins off to the right, perfectly on the blue. As I say, you'd want to get on the red to the right of the black, but not easy from here. But with a couple of cannons, he's on that red, but he's tied the black up.
Yep, that was the downside. I think he just played the cannon on the red just to the right of the pink, and he caught the wrong red, really. If it had caught the red just to the right of the pink, full in the face, that red wouldn't have come down, tied the black up. So that makes break building very difficult now.
Has he got an angle to come off the cushion and just flick the red away from the black? Might have. Well, didn't fancy that, but if he gets the right side of the blue, he's still in a good situation here. Just forget the black now. Concentrate on the pink and blues.
12. $13.
What an atmosphere we've got here this evening. You can hear a pin drop. Just the occasional click of a ball and a referee
18.
calling the score out. And Stephen Maguire, he's now beginning to make a match of this.
$19.
Sure. Just ask for the extended rest. Gotta be a wee bit careful here. I'm just wondering, looking at the angle, if he's going to have to play a cannon onto the black here. Don't know if he can hold for a red. If he can, he'd like to without risking that, but might be a possible shot for him. No, didn't want to risk the cannon.
Thank you.
As I said, he didn't have to bother with the black. He can do enough with the pink and blue.
$25.
We're just checking to see after this red that's in the open and a colour whether there's a plant there or another red that will go. It appears to me there might be a possibility of making a plant. That will help. Otherwise, he's got to get a very good angle on the colour off this red.
In fact, there's two possible plants there, but now he's
26.
cannon the blue.
He'll need the plant to come to his rescue now then.
Yep, he had no intention of cannoning the blue, but as you can see, let's have a look. The one to the right would be the best one to get on. Oh, he doesn't want to hide it in behind this red. Needs to pull up, and
31.
it has, so the plant may come to his rescue. Now they're close together. Let's see if the plant is in direct line. It's not. It's going to the right of the pocket as we look at it, which means the first red he's got to hit on the right side. You don't hit it on the left side to make it. You squeeze the ball into the pocket. And we've got the perfect picture there to see if he can do that. He's playing the other one. Same scenario. He's got to hit it on the left side to push it into the pocket. And he hasn't judged it. I thought the other one was the slightly easier
Maguire,
plant.
31.
Yeah, well, he convinced himself that the plant was on.
It was the other red, John, that he hit, so he couldn't squeeze it.
No. So
One.
Judd Trump, I know the black's tied up, but this is your chance to win frame and match.
Seven. Eight. $14. 15.
Now, if he's got an angle on the pink, it might cross his mind to pot the pink and play a cannon on the black. If he's not on the one just to the left of the black, he'd certainly be on the one to the right corner pocket. Might be worth a chance. And he's got it. But he could have done without being slightly hampered. This could mean he has to play for the awkward black along
21.
the top cushion. He doesn't want to, but the reds are open now.
That's awkward queuing. He may have to just roll this in and take on the difficult black, as you said, John. He's reluctant to do that, but because of where he's finished, it's not easy to get out onto the pink. And the problem with rolling the black along the cushion, it may tie the other red up. That's what he's thinking about. So there's a little bit of work to be done here. There's a few stumbling blocks. He decided in the end to force it in, and he would have been better just rolling it in than trying to get out onto that pink. That was asking a bit too much. So he thought about it, and in the end thought, maybe I can get out onto the pink. He hasn't. So the chance has slipped away.
Yes, and I don't know whether he's toying with the idea of playing the pink to the right middle. That would be very, very risky. He's got himself right back in this frame, but of course he's got to cover the red that's near the left corner pocket. Can't afford to leave a path to that one.
Yellow ball.
So he's not tempted by the pink, I don't blame him, but can he use the blue as a blocker here?
I
think he's played it well. Played it very well. He's walking back to his seat, a little bit disappointed he didn't make the most of that opportunity, but just a bit unlucky to come straight on the red.
That was all he could do, just a containing safety shot. Now would Judd risk leaving that cue ball up in the same corner off the red that's near the right middle pocket? If he covers everything and brings that into play, he could give himself a chance, and that's what he's doing. Oh, Judd. He had so many options there. I mean, the choice, I don't say it was the right choice. He just hit that far too thin.
One.
Well, he potted it, but didn't get a good angle on the blue he was looking for. Of course, he's got the problem, and he'll need it, the red near the right-hand side cushion. So it's not a straightforward run to the line here for Stephen.
The black's out of commission to try and get on to move that difficult red. So he's got to get himself an angle on the pink or the blue to give himself a chance to bring that red into play. He doesn't have to win the frame at this visit. He's just got to win the frame. That's all there is to it. Well, he's got into that too well. He's hoping to leave himself on the blue, and he's looking at the brown and green now. As we show you this terrific shot, the brown can get him round to the last red. Lots of side, off a couple of cushions, swing it towards the red. Here it comes. Is he going to move it? He's a bit unlucky.
11.
$19 ahead. If the black was on its spot, he might be tempted to try and pot this up into the corner, but because of that, good safety is the order of the day, you would feel.
Well, he could have played a better safety shot than that. He's not really put Judd under any pressure whatsoever. He's played a cross double. As long as this red avoids kissing the pink, it should be safe. Well, he didn't avoid kissing the pink. But the flick on the brown has certainly made it a better shot than it was going to be. And Judd apologised to Stephen.
Yeah, he had it too thin, John. A bit thicker, the red would have finished near the black, but the pink's gone into a safer position, which is to Stephen's advantage.
Foul.
Well,
And a miss.
Stephen, what have you done there? And it's not a free
6.
ball, surely. What a misjudgment that was.
Yeah, and I think that Judd will be thinking, don't have it replayed, because as you say, the pink was in an awkward position. He's brought it out, and he only needs red cover and up to the pink. But these long shots, which were going in with frequency, he's now getting a little bit edgy as that winning line comes in sight. Missed that by a long way, really.
What a shot he's pulled out there. That is a gem of a pot for Stephen Maguire. It really is. Right in the middle of the pocket. Not the best there. He was hoping to leave the yellow for the middle pocket. Now he's got to take it into the corner. He's 18 ahead. So he needs a yellow and the green. It's not over yet, this match.
7.
At 4-0 and 5-1, it looked plain sailing for Judd Trump.
14.
But he started to get a little edgy, as we said. And he's still waiting for that one good chance that'll get him into the final.
19.
There's been sizable breaks in every frame. This has been a more tactical one. But Stephen Maguire is not finished yet. That's a fabulous frame for him to take, and he keeps himself in this year's UK Championship, but he's still 2 behind. It's 5-3 to Judd Trump.
Did you know that was lemonade in Lewis Hamilton's bottle of champagne? Just thought I'd pass that on. Well, it's going to be a fascinating sports personality of the year next week, in fact. But before that, we have the final of the United Kingdom Championship. But who's going to be in it? And it's suddenly all got a little bit twitchy, gentlemen, as the winning line looms large. It's the same situation as we had this afternoon with Stuart Bingham.
Absolutely. It's, that red, when Stephen Maguire had that huge misjudgment, took the pink off the cushion, what a chance to win the match for Judd, and he just didn't even get close. So yeah, he doesn't look as composed as he was in the first half.
What's your interpretation of it all, John?
Well, when it's like this situation, it's almost like as if you've accepted you're nearly out of the championship if you're Stephen Maguire, and you think to yourself, well, a little bit of pressure comes off you because you think, well, more or less I'm going to get knocked out. And then all of a sudden you win a frame, and then your opponent starts missing a couple, and then you win another frame. And the pressure really is all on Judd at the minute. It's not quite got to the really, twitchy stage just yet, but it will do if he wins the next one.
It will indeed, and I think probably more problematic for him. We mentioned it in the last frame as well. He was knocking in the long balls with such aplomb and with such confidence. That seems to be not there right now.
And that one was to win the match.
Yeah.
And so, watch this space.
Indeed, back we go.
Yes, he missed a golden opportunity in the last frame, did Judd. But as I said when he went 5-1 in front, he knows he's going to get opportunities. He had 2 in the last frame, and the one where he potted the pink and knocked the red into the corner was, well, that was a unforced error. So he's going to get a chance again. 1 or 2 chances in each frame, you would have thought. So I don't think he'll be panicking just yet, or shouldn't be. Just needs to take that chance, grab it with both hands should it come. But Stephen Maguire isn't going to go away. So he'll have to win it. Stephen's not going to give it him.
Well, as he left a tempter, Stephen Maguire can take this red into the left corner, and as I mentioned so many times, he's such an aggressive player. Don't be surprised if this doesn't go in. Well, in fact, he hit that too well. He thought he would automatically finish on the black, but he cued that so nicely. He got too much action on it. Thought it was going to be good, and then, well, you can see the way he reacted. He knew he wasn't on the black. If he takes the green here, he's got to make sure he covers that red that's to the left of the yellow.
Green ball.
Want to leave an easy escape for Judd.
Steve Maguire 1.
I could hear him saying, yeah. He must have felt that drifted slightly, because he has left that red for Judd to play safe off. So maybe the white did drift a little bit there. Play to hit that full ball.
Good shot, this. And he's covered the safety down the right-hand side of the table. So Judd's got to be very accurate with this safety shot. Good return. That's as good a safety shot he's played this evening for me. Super shot.
There hasn't been a great deal of tactical play in this match. This one's come up a bit short now, and if he's got an angle here, he might be able to knock this in, and, well, he can get on the blue or the black. Now let's have a look when the black is back on its spot as we show you this terrific long pot. I think the black's going to be okay when it's respotted. That's a great opener.
It just shows you the reward you can get for just one good safety. And that's what made it difficult for Stephen to get a good cue ball. He didn't. Here's a chance for Judd.
Now, is he on that red that's just closest to the black spot? If he is, it's going to free the black. And I think he has judged that very nicely. Yeah, there you see it. This is a very good chance for Judd
8.
Trump.
Nine.
But what are you doing there? That's careless.
Didn't get into the cue ball enough. So this black is still possible, but it's tricky. He needed to stun into it. He hardly got any stun on the cue ball at all. So he would pot this. Well, he's deciding to... You thought the best way to play this is with left-hand side and be a bit positive. I thought a left-hander, he could reach this. Well, he's made life difficult for himself.
That's a great recovery shot. It really is. That was a super shot.
16.
I think the black is available into the left corner.
$17.
He's not got that cue ball, as we say, on a string at the moment. He wanted to be a bit further out into the table. And that's all because he didn't get on the black as he intended. So he really is starting to suffer out there, Judd. He can't help himself. Thinking about the winning post. You've got to play the frame just as if it was the first frame. It's easier said than done, but that's the scenario at the moment.
One.
And believe it or not, that black he's missed off the spot is the first one he's missed off the spot tonight. What a time to miss it. No, I misjudged that. You could hear a little sigh there, John, couldn't you, from Stephen? He knew he hadn't hit it correctly.
7.
Well, maybe a plant, but he didn't want that, did he? Are the other two a plant? Yeah, it looks like they are.
Eight.
Has that red covered the corner pocket? What do you think, JV? Commentator's eye.
Well, I'm looking at Stephen's body language. I think it has covered the path for the blue, so he'll have to play the yellow. Oh, it's tight, isn't it? Might just go. But if you're not in a direct line with the pot, then it's more difficult. The yellow's missable. He was hoping for something easier than this.
Back of Stephen's mind will be the fact that Judd has missed a few opportunities now, and that's going to spur him on, so he knows that Judd is right under the cosh at the moment.
$11.
Okay, the black's out of commission, but the way the reds are, and the pink and blue, he's okay here.
Blue, make the points all square. So there's enough reds in the open
16.
to possibly clinch the frame at this visit, as he has a quick look at the scoreboard, it'll tell him 17 points each. Six reds, 6 pinks. So that wouldn't just be enough. So he's going to need one of those awkward reds near the top cushion.
Sure.
Well, what must be going on in Judd's mind? He had a good chance and
70.
never once really got good position in and around the black spot area, usually where these players are so efficient.
$22. $23.
It's gone slightly wrong. Little smile from Stephen. He didn't want to knock the pink into a safe
28.
position. Maybe the pink still goes into the right corner, as we show you the cannon here. He played the cannon the red, not the pink. But if the pink goes, he can screw this back. And as you can see, if he could get the white somewhere near where it is now when he pots this red, he'd be on the pink. Yeah, right in the heart of the pocket.
29.
But not on the pink as he intended. Slightly hampered. All about fractions, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just thinking, is there a possibility here in potting the pink he could nudge a red towards the right corner? Because as I say, he needs one of these awkward reds near the top cushion. Could this have worked out into his advantage? No, not quite. So he's still going to have the problem, but at least he's on a red. But to
35.
clinch the frame at this visit, he needs one of those awkward 2 reds near the top cushion.
Well, this looks very good.
36.
He might even, well, I think he'd maybe leave the 2 reds, but eventually he's going to need an angle on the blue to try and move one of those difficult reds that John mentioned. He's going to need one of those. So in a few shots time, you'd think the blue would be the best to play on, but having said
41.
that, he's come up a long way short there. He's got quite a margin for error, and he's left that at least 12 inches short of where he wanted to be.
Well, he might think he'll be getting back to the table sooner rather than later. So that
Maguire,
was
41.
a few poor positional shots there from Steve. He never had complete control of the cue ball. Didn't make the most of that chance.
And he hasn't played the best safety in the world. He hasn't covered this one. Judd will have a go at this. And a long way off. A long way off the pot there. Okay, hasn't stuck the red up, but he is getting a little anxious. It's understandable. Just one frame away from getting into the final in a match against the favourite, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Where's the red going? And that's another poor shot from Stephen. I mean, Judd's not going to keep missing these long balls. This is slightly easier than the previous one.
One.
And it's far from easy, because the blue's off its spot, which would have helped him in a couple of shots' time to play off, to try and bring one of those difficult reds into play. Now, is it going to be risk time? Is he going to try and develop the black and red? Stretching there, so that's an indication there's a little bit of tension in the arm. It's quite understandable. Big shot coming up here if he decides to play the cannon. He's played it perfectly.
Could not have worked out any better. So this is another chance. It's absolutely perfect. Caught the red,
11.
that brought the black into play. The only problem I can see, green to brown. Stephen played his last shot.
He's having a quick glance around at the scoreboard, but as John mentioned, it's all about that green.
$20.
Just make sure he leaves a nice angle on the yellow, and being a left-hander, it's a slight advantage. He's come up a bit short. He's a long way short, and I'm just looking at it.
27.
He's going to have to use the rest, and he's left with the choice. I don't know if he can hold it on the green, but that was a tense shot there. He should have been further across the table. Now, can he screw over behind the green, or has he got to try and flick the green into play? I don't know if he can just roll it in. He's tried to flick it into play, and he's played it beautifully. Fabulous shot there, JV.
Well, and Stephen Maguire, I saw him in the corner of my eye, just dropped his head because he now thinks that he's played his last shot. What a good shot that was. And that only just
32.
went in, and he's not on the brown.
It's just tension in the arm. That's all it is at the moment.
Just needs brown and blue, but it's not straightforward anymore. When he potted the yellow, developed the green, well, you couldn't think of anything that could go wrong. But it has.
Well, if he tries to go all the way around the angles here, there's a lot can go wrong with it. Is he going to get in behind the pink? Is the pink going to come to his rescue?
32.
Maybe not. There might be a path through for the brown, and if he can get through to the brown.
Thank you.
And if he's dead straight on it, he can hold for the blue. Wow. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. So Stephen Maguire, good long pot. He might not get perfect on the blue, but he's got the good long pot. He couldn't get perfect on the blue. The only way he could do that was trying to make the brown more difficult. He knew he was going to have a tricky blue, but this will really hurt Judd Trump. Right in the heart of the pocket. Well, when Judd Trump developed the green, I caught Stephen Maguire in the corner of my eye, and his head dropped as though that was it.
On the frame.
But it wasn't it. And Stephen Maguire, well, with a gift from Judd Trump, keeps the match alive. He's now only one behind. It's hotting up.
It is. An hour ago, I was asking these gentlemen, is there any way back for Steve Maguire? No, didn't look like it, but my goodness, what an incredible turnaround. What is going on? What's happening to Judd? And particularly that twitch on the green.
Well, he'll play some shots under pressure badly, but not many like this. I mean, he's got literally 2.5 to 3 feet. As long as you pass the baulk line, you're going to have a shot on the brown. And that's all that is. It's complete and utter tension. He didn't hit through it. And he's really feeling it.
John Virgo said he saw Steve Maguire's head drop, obviously just before that. But right now, how do you assess Judd's demeanour out there?
He must have thought when he played the yellow the rest and he cannoned the green, that's it, I've won him in the final. And he could have played the green 2 or 3 different ways. He could have just played it with a touch aside for the brown into the same pocket. It takes that little twitchy shot out of the equation. But yeah, I'm a good judge on it when I said no earlier on.
That's the fascination of this game. But the parallels are rather striking. This afternoon it was 4-1 up for Stuart Bingham, and he just knocked in that 137. Judd was 5-1 up and just knocked in his 7th century. He looked like he was cruising to victory.
He did indeed, and if you're Stephen Maguire there, quite rightly put your cue down. Let Judd have a think about that one. He's just had a major boost there because he's thinking, look, the game's all over. He's only got to get green to brown, blue, and it's all. And then all of a sudden he sees Judd play that, and it was a twitch. He just didn't hit through the ball. He's thinking, well, he's really feeling it. That's the best indication he's going to get in the match, what he's feeling like.
But he still had to pot the brown. I mean, it's a long. It was a bit of pressure on that brown. He's potted a good brown and blue. So it, it's. I don't want to. I was a bad judge saying no, but I mean, it's turned round. Possibly Maguire's even favourite now. I think how can Judge come back from that?
You think it's that damaging?
He's like 2 balls away from the final.
OK, all right. Well, that's an incredible assessment. And, you talk about the switching of the pressure. Does it suddenly go back to this man?
Well, it can do, because, you've been sitting there, behind thinking there's no way I'm in this match. And all of a sudden, you have got a chance to win. So sometimes that can reverse in itself. So it's fascinating now the way it's poised at 5-4.
I think Judd has to get a chance early in the frame. I think if the frames go like scrappy again, I favour Maguire. If Judd gets in early and in amongst the balls, he'll soon forget about that green.
Well, this certainly wasn't on the script a little while ago, but there we go. It's that's the fascination of live snooker. And I must say, we love a good story, and this is an incredible story developing. Wonderful second semi-final of this Coral United Kingdom Championship. This is frame 10 of a possible 11.
Yeah, you can never write a script for a snooker match. Once again, a poor break-off shot. But let's see how Judd's feeling after what happened in that previous frame. Let's see how close he gets to this pot. That's pretty close. Okay, he's not dropped nicely on a colour, but he's knocked the red in. Well, you never know with this young man. Have a look at the shot he's going to play here. Is he on the red? Not many players in the game would have took that shot on.
No, that was a superb shot, and particularly after the disappointment of the last frame. But that's his advantage of having that lovely cue power. Stephen said he needed a good chance early on. Well, he's got one. Now, it seems to me, when he has been breaking down or playing bad shots, he's just been under hitting the ball.
14.
Sort of deaccelerating when he's coming into the white. But as that chance that he missed in the last one, sometimes that can spur you on. It really annoys you that you've missed them opportunities and could spur him on in this frame. We'll see.
Well, opened the reds perfectly with that
21.
shot, but he needs another good one here. He's got to push the white through or screw it back to get on pink or black. Now where's the white going to finish? Where
22.
is that white finishing? It's just about okay. Yeah, well played. Oh, look at the nudge he's had there. Anywhere.
29.
Once the black went in, you thought he's got to have something easy. Have a look at this here. I mean, he's unlucky to flick that red and cover the other one, so it's a long one up into the corner.
The only thing I would say about that, Dennis, I mean, if he wants to be certain of being on a red, he should have stunned it in off 2 cushions for the red to the left middle. Then nothing could have gone wrong. It was like he was just playing the black dead weight and trusting he was going to be on a red. And you can never just trust that you're going to be on one. You've got to play on one. Pressure on this.
And look where the red's gone.
29.
It's cannon the green. So we did get that early chance, but he's only made 29.
Well, the reds are spread far and wide, so not a lot of work for Stephen to do. But when you get to this stage of a match, take nothing for granted.
Just checking the pink spot there, just to see if he potted this red and got on the pink, would he be tying it up? I mean, he doesn't have to play for the pink, but that's what he was checking there. He's got an angle where he could get back for the blue if he feels the pink might be slightly hampered. Yeah.
5.
Feels there's no problem. But what a comeback from 5-1 down. 67 break. No big breaks to make it 5-3. 41 to make it 5-4.
$11. $12.
Well, at 4-0, I think everyone in the Barbican and probably everyone watching at home thought this is going to be an early night. But everybody's still here and Stephen Maguire's still battling away. He's risked the cannon there. Is he just okay?
17.
Well, the way he's walking around the table, I'm not quite sure, but has he covered everything into that? Yeah, he's covered it. So that cannon didn't work out. And there's always a chance when you're playing a little cannon that it can go wrong. Well, that tells you what he thinks. He didn't want to cannon that red, it was the other red. So more tension.
Yeah, he's got this red to the right middle, but it's not as easy as it looks. He can get annoyed with himself, Stephen. You could say he was a little unlucky there, because this red to the right middle would be easier if he wasn't hampered as he is. And it even
Steve Maguire,
made him
17.
play the safety. So both players have had good chances in this vital 10th frame and not made the most of it.
Yeah, just giving himself a bit of a telling off there. Is Judd going to risk this? Is there a path round the back of the black? I think if he pots the red, he won't cannon the black. Not a bad effort. Now will Stephen Maguire, said so many times how aggressive he is. There is a red that will go up into the right corner. It's not an easy one by any means. Well, where's the red going to finish? He played it in such a way that it was a shot to nothing rather than committing himself, and he hit it, I think, a lot harder than he intended to. He was screwing back into the baulk area. Could have left something easier than this though, but it is potable. Very good.
One.
Now one good positional shot here off the yellow, and he's got a great chance.
We don't usually say this, Dennis, do we, with the top players, but it is a case of just holding yourself together
3.
now.
Stephen, when he cannoned the reds, put them safe. The 4 reds to the left of the pink are a little awkward. Got the one near the black spot. Will he take the chance of potting the green? And just any sort of nudge on these reds would open things up. Stephen was unlucky. If Judd takes it on, will he be lucky and put them into a potable position? He doesn't have to play the cannon, but you would feel he'd have to have a go at it.
Well, as I said earlier on, you could hear a pin drop, and you can now, because this is a big decision. I think what he's got to do, I think he's got to play the cannon. I think he's got to go for this. He doesn't want to just fall over the line, make it happen.
Well, he hasn't played the cannon, so he'll have to do it. If he
7.
pots this red, he'll have to get a good angle, and will he have as good an angle as he had there? We'll find out shortly. I just think his shot selection as well at the moment is just not there, because normally he would have played to move the reds with the shot before. He really is suffering out there at the moment.
needs a good cue ball and hasn't got one. He's left this red on now. So can Judd cue straight through here and knock this red in? Oh, missed it by a long way. And is it coming down? Is he going to leave it? Or is it going to bounce safe? He's left it.
One.
Just winning off the left jaw there, but once again, it's all about this little cannon on the reds. He's a bit thinner on the blue than he would have liked, but it's a natural to move at least 2 of the reds. But it hasn't worked out. The tension heightens here in the Barbican Centre. Wanted a fuller contact on that.
Yes, this frame has really shown the pressures that are coming on both players. Both so keen, eager to get a shot at Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final tomorrow. I think in Judd Trump's case, Dennis probably thought about it a little bit too early in this match. Good shot from Stephen, good safety. Disappointed he wasn't on the red, but didn't show it with his next shot. That's what you've got to do.
Looking at the 2 reds now, I'm just wondering if he could possibly make the plant. Now, what side of the pocket are they going to? They're going to the left side of the pocket, so he'd have to hit the first red on the side that he's at, so might possibly squeeze it. No, but he's got a good cue ball. 2 former champions here battling out for a place in tomorrow's final. Judd won the UK in 2011. Stephen 10 years ago since he lifted the title.
Puts a good putt out there, needs a good kiss. It's not bad. He's on the yellow. He's knocked in a few of these this evening. As I say, he's on the yellow, and after potting this, he'll just be 10 points behind.
Three.
So he's not going to be able to win it with just the red, so it's no gimme to win the frame at this visit.
4.
Yeah, he wanted to be straighter on that red to leave an easier pink. Had to play for the middle pocket. Played for one of the more difficult reds. He's having a quick glance at the scoreboard. He's just
10.
3 points behind now, and that one, the right side of the table for Stephen, is not all that bad being a right-hander. Well, that's helped the situation, because I think he hit that a little harder than he intended, but once he's caught the jaw of the middle pocket, he's finished absolutely spot on. He can drop the blue in and get nicely on that one near the pink.
16.
Imperative he gets good position here so as he can get on that difficult red. If he can get a good angle on the pink and drop in the circle there, it would be ideal. Now, what's the angle like?
17.
Not good on the pink. He might have to do it from the blue, but he can avoid the green and get up to where I had the circle there. Just make sure. He's missed the green, has he? He's going to be further away from the red than he wanted. This is not easy now.
22.
He's got a 9-point lead. Boy, this will be a big shot to take this on, using the rest.
Well, I think if you add the percentages up, what would they be? Maybe knock this in 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. I think he might be better off leaving it, John.
I think 4 would be nearer the mark, and maybe even 3. I'd never go up as high as 5. So Judd Trump will be coming back to the table. Just avoided the pink, which could make this a good safety, but he's not got the snooker.
Maguire, 22.
A snooker at this stage of a frame is so advantageous, and Stephen just couldn't do it. He couldn't risk that pot. He's fought hard to get back in this match. Couldn't give it all away with one reckless shot.
Oh, have a look at this shot. And Stephen Maguire tapping the table in acknowledgement of that excellent shot from Judd Trump. He needs a bit of good luck if he hits this red. You never know where they're going. You got to hit it and hope for the best. And listen, this is going to be the best.
Yeah, well, need a bit of luck sometimes. It's not the easiest safety shot, this, for Judd.
Just wondering, John, does it pass the brown? That's what Judd's looking at, because as you say, there's no easy safety shot.
Well, I'm thinking he's looking to see if he can hit it past the brown. He doesn't go in the pocket, I don't think. But can he get it past the brown to send the red back up the table? I think that's all he can hope for. But he doesn't want to catch the jaws of the pocket. Well, you were the safety expert, Dennis. Do you think he can get this red back up to this top end of the table?
Well, we've seen clearly from that last shot he can't pot it, but there's not much available to him, so I think he possibly could avoid the brown and the angles. But then there's also the chance of the double kiss, so it's far from easy. So Stephen had a real result there when he just got out of the snooker and hoped for the best. Now this is far from easy.
Oh, this is dangerous. Oh, that was dangerous. And if he'd have left a chance for Stephen Maguire to hit this red in the full ball, then Judd could have been in desperate trouble.
Well, if he can't get in behind the brown that way, I mean, if he could, what a position he could put himself in. The only other way he could get the snooker would be to hit the cushion first, but can he see enough of it to get behind the brown? He could.
Advances Stephen Maguire.
That's safe.
Well, could escape. Didn't hit and hold, controlled it well. Frame back in the balance.
This red's heading towards that corner pocket. It's heading towards that corner pocket. And he hasn't covered it.
Thank you.
This already the longest frame of the match, and you could see by Stephen's expression there that he knows the chances there for Judd. But after what happened in the previous frame, no point in trying to predict what's going to happen here, John.
Absolutely not. And he's not, well, he's playing the pink, but this is a tough pink. He's got to avoid the black to get back for the yellow. Well, he's done that. And as we remarked to, it's always an easier ball to get on, but he's under-hit it. Wanted a bit straighter on this yellow. 2 points behind. So he's up to and including the pink. He doesn't need the difficult black. Can he get that far?
No. Unintentional cannon on the brown. He's not going to get that far with this visit.
Should have been on the yellow better though, shouldn't he? So, good safety, or if he can get the snooker, try and lay the snooker. Snooker's so important. Just gives you complete control of the situation if you can get the snooker. But if you can't, make certain you get a good safety. Points are all square. Yeah, the longest frame of the match, and it's only just coming into its 24th minute. It's been quick fire snooker.
I mean, he could try and lay the snooker behind the brown, but he's got to be very careful. You've got to make sure you keep the green safe. That's about the best he could do. Now there is a shot here. It's an easy escape, and I think he'll just try and knock the green onto the cushion behind the black. Looks straightforward, but you've still got to make sure you catch the cushion correctly. You see, it looks a straightforward shot, but it's not. If he hits this correctly, he'd send the green up to where the line is, but he's got to judge it correctly. He's played it well. This is not bad, you know. He could have the snooker behind the pink. It's just ran too far, but look where he put the cue ball tight on the cushion. Oh, that's a good shot. As long as the green pulls up. Well played.
Well, he's got a good green. As you can see, Stephen can get through to it. You've got to be careful with this shot. If you just catch it a little bit too thick, it'll go back down the table with the cue ball. So just got to catch it thin enough. And if he does, he could have Judd in trouble here. Caught it much too thick. Lucky there. Lucky there.
That might look easy to be able to get the white in behind the blue. But I'll tell you what, from this position, it's far from easy. I think if the white was slightly to the left, he could send the green all the way around the angles and possibly try and get in behind the blue, but can't do that from here. So just a delicate little one. And as he judged it, he has.
And once again, and it's great to see, Stephen Maguire came to the table and was tapping, congratulating Judd on playing such a good shot, even at this critical moment in the frame and match. And he's missed it. He didn't want the cue ball to go in. Oh, no!
And a miss. Judd Trump 4.
Well, Olivia Marty was called miss. That will not be taken. What a chance now for Judd Trump.
How did he not get out of that snooker? It was as if he put a little bit aside and it squared up. And he's left-handed, Judd. He can screw over behind the brown.
Needs brown and blue for a place in the final. It's not perfect.
Well, what an awkward one he's left here. Superb. That's a great shot under the circumstances. That was some brown under the circumstances. Just the blue. Well, you don't normally get any reaction from Judd, but that's what it meant to him. In or over? Is it in? Is it over? And Stephen comes forward and says, well played, Judd Trump. It looked like it was going to be all one-way traffic at 4-0 and 5-1, but look at Judd Trump with those little fist pumps. Stephen Maguire congratulated him, but in the end, Judd will be absolutely delighted. He gets through to tomorrow's final, beating Stephen Maguire 6 frames to 4.
Oh, my goodness, he's punching the air there. You know, the last couple of years since he won this championship in 2011, he's gone out having held big leads in matches here in York. And I'm sure maybe that was playing a part in his thinking there. But fantastic effort, you got to say, from Stephen Maguire, because he looked completely out of it at 5-1 down, didn't he?
Yeah, tremendous courage and character and just will to get back into the match, will to win. He made Judd, you know, really edgy. Judd just basically scraped over the line there.
He did, yes. He had to make something happen, and he did eventually in that final frame.
Yeah, and ultimately we talk about his potting and his break build and his scoring. It's a safety shot that's won him the match. You know, putting the snooker in and playing it as well as he did. Stephen tapped the table. He's come round, he's come inside the green and the cue ball's gone, and it's the worst. It's a double whammy for him, but it was a safety shot that's got him over the line. How
do you explain the two sides of Judd Trump this evening, Stephen?
Yeah, I think he'll be a bit worried about how he played from sort of 5-1 up. He'd have wanted to win the match quickly, and that would be a concern. But the main thing is in the final, and that's all he'll be bothered about really now.
Well, here he is. Let's get his thoughts. Congratulations.
Never in doubt.
Never in doubt, Judd. Never in doubt. 5-1 up. What happened?
I got scared, I think. I started to miss a few, and then when you doubt yourself, that's it then. At the start I was just playing on instinct, and then as you get closer to the line, when you don't get over the line straight away, then it's a horrible position to be in. Even though you're still winning, you're just looking back at the opponent. So for me, I had to really get it done 6-1 or 6-2 to be comfortable, and then he's such a good player from it. He's got so much determination, and he doesn't miss. When he obviously seen me falter a little bit, and he doesn't miss then. And then in the last frame I was just lucky to get over the line. I think my safety was quite good towards the end, but it was lucky the balls were all there, otherwise I don't think I'd have potted it. I'm surprised that Brian went in. I just closed my eyes and hit it.
Pretty scary, Judd, though, because you were knocking them in with such confidence early on, and then the long game seemed to desert you for a patch of that match.
No, because the table was reclossed. I was obviously putting a little bit of side on towards the end, and it was just front, everything thick. And then I just tried to get back to basics. 1 or 2 went in, but it was a real struggle towards the end, and I thought it was going to go 5-all, but I had a lot of chances to get over the line, which is a little bit disappointing.
I'm going to ask you, what were you thinking? Well, what did you think about when you had the green? I mean, you had green to brown, didn't you? It looked like you were going to win there.
I was just thinking, thank God Hendry's not commentating. It absolutely ruined me. No, to be honest, it was just pressure. That's all it was. I just tightened up. I didn't get through the white ball, finished short, and then as soon as I start looking around the table at problems, I say I'll miss straight away. But yeah, Stephen dug deep. He didn't get as frustrated as I thought he was going to get. He seemed to just get on with it. There's a few dodgy bounces he had at the start, and I think it's just frames I'm nicking really that I haven't been nicking before. I'm just clearing up.
But it's good though. I mean, I mentioned it before you came. You just said it. It's actually a safety shot above all else. Your pot and your break build. That little snooker behind there. Sometimes just any snooker is a good snooker in that situation. And of course, he's come off, missed the green, gone in off. And you've ended up winning off. You're winning off the chance. Yeah, I still. I knew when I cannoned the brown, it was never going to go perfect. I kind of stood back and thought, if I miss this, if it goes to the decider, there's no way I'm going to probably win. After chucking away that many chances, it's going to be in my head. So I thought, have a go at it. And even the blue looked tough to me. That was a good shot.
Tell you what, now you shake yourself down. You've got to get yourself back up for this final. It's against Ronnie. And let's just have a quick look at your record against Ronnie, because it's been pretty tight in matches before, Judd. He's, 6 wins to your 5. And only last month in the Champion of Champions final in Coventry, you played a fantastic final against him. I think you were, 8-3 down, got it back to 7-8. And it was a really high-quality final. What have you learned from that? And what do you hope you'll take into the final tomorrow?
To be honest, my break-offs, he potted 2 or 3 balls off the break and cleared up every time, so I need to work on that. Other than that, I've been working on my position a lot after watching him, trying to perfect that. And to be honest, if he plays like that, I'll have to play literally perfect snooker. But hopefully he hasn't played brilliant all week, but I know he's going to raise his game against me. It's obviously going to happen. All the best players, Stephen, John and Ronnie, when you get to the final, you always raise your game, so I'm expecting a real tough game, but I'm pleased to be there. Other than today, I've been quite comfortable this week, not really looked in doubt.
I think as well, sometimes a semi-final can be just more pressure than the final, because you're so desperate to get there. I mean, a semi-final is horrible. You say about it in football, don't they? You lose a semi-final, it's the worst place to go out, but now you can relax a little bit. You're in the final, you're on the main table, and you're playing the best player in the world.
Yeah, I know I go out and play well. Whether it's good enough, who knows? He's obviously one of the best players ever, so I know I'm going to go out and have to play literally 95% of what I can play. If I play that, then I've got a very good chance.
Well, Judd, it's mopping of the brow tonight. You're through, though. You're in this final. We're very much looking forward to seeing you and indeed Ronnie tomorrow. Well done. Get some rest, and we'll be back for what will be quite a showdown. Let's remind you of when it will be. It's at 5-1 this afternoon. It's the showdown between the Rocket and the Juggernaut. O'Sullivan versus Trump. Stuff the Christmas shopping. Settle down with the snooker instead. You'll save a packet, and those two are sure to give us plenty of value for money. Catch you then. Bye-bye.
To me, this is a little bit revolutionary to see